A haunting, ethereal castle looms under a dramatic twilight sky, enveloped by swirling dark energy and shimmering purple particles, signifying a place of immense, ominous power. Protagonist lets out a guttural "UH" as he struggles, sword in hand, against overwhelming purple energy that threatens to consume him. Protagonist falls amidst crumbling debris and tendrils of dark energy, lamenting that despite completing nearly 100 tasks, a single failure now means he will be wiped out. As he plunges through the void, protagonist defiantly questions if his fate is sealed just because I'm a lowly human, vowing, "I refuse to accept it, haha, I won't submit." Protagonist's body crashes into an ethereal liquid, creating ripples. His defiant, "I refuse to accept it, haha, I won't submit," echoes, followed by a chilling haha as he begins to sink. Submerged, protagonist lets out a maniacal ha 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 ha, his face contorted in a desperate, unyielding laugh of defiance against his impending doom. The furious snarl and an obscene gesture, protagonist screams an insult, "Dark bitch Heloise, I'll fuck you," his rage burning even in the face of defeat. The majestic ethereal antagonist stands tall over the dark waters, her glowing form casting a stark contrast as protagonist's arm reaches desperately from the depths towards her. Protagonist sinks deeper into the murky abyss, his arms still outstretched, bubbles rising around him as he disappears into the crushing darkness. His eyes closed, protagonist drifts into the endless darkness, his body succumbing to the void as faint light particles swirl around him. Suddenly, a mystical hourglass pendant glows brightly amidst a starry, blue-tinged void, its sand defying gravity as it flows upwards, accompanied by the command, "Reverse!" Protagonist, now clad in a blue jacket, re-emerges with a furious yell and the same defiant gesture, screaming "fuck you," as if challenging fate itself. Protagonist awakens with a start, his eyes wide with shock, questioning, "Wait, I'm not dead. Where am I?" He recognizes his old college dorm, baffled. "The dorm from my college days? How did I end up here?" Remembering, "Wasn't I killed by that bitch?" Protagonist grapples with his memories, thinking, the decades of trial felt so real, it couldn't have been a dream, right? A sudden realization hits him, "Wait, the hourglass." Protagonist explains the hourglass. "This hourglass is the item I obtained 20 years after the arrival of the universal will. When the trial began," he notes its uniqueness and indestructibility. "It's the most unique item I've ever seen. It can't display any attributes and can't be destroyed, so I always keep it with me. The crucial detail, I remember the sand was at the bottom. It wouldn't flow even if turned upside down, but now it's at the top." With a serious expression, protagonist intently examines his smartphone, seeking answers. Smartphone displays a calendar, confirming his fears. June 5, 2032, 10 days before the arrival of the universal will and the start of the trial. A colossal cosmic light descends upon a city as protagonist narrates the impending catastrophe. 10 days later, on June 15th, the universal will would officially arrive and begin the trial. More than 90% of humanity will die. As humanity faces annihilation, however, along with the darkness of the universal will, inner abilities will awaken in humans, and we will gain inheritable power. Many magical equipment and items from various copies will be obtained, and we will fight with the universal will. Ethereal figures of powerful gods emerge. As the narrator reveals, these good things even attracted a god who controls the rules of the universe. Yet, these gods cannot directly intervene in the trial, so they attract humans under the guise of protection, attempting to gain benefits from it. Protagonist recalls his past life, where, in the previous life, I was not strong enough. After paying a lot, I finally joined under Heloise's command. The ethereal antagonist sits provocatively, her sinister gaze fixed on him. Protagonist reflects on his desperate struggle. "I desperately completed the tasks she assigned, trying to enhance my status, but his efforts were in vain. But I never expected to be erased by her because of one failed mission." Protagonist, with a resolute gaze, reads alarming news headlines. "Is this a new type of rabies or zombies from a movie? And patients at Jiangxing First Hospital are going crazy and biting people." Followed by, "Unbelievable, a body in the middle of forensic dissection at Jiangxing Medical Examiner's office woke up." Enveloped in a fierce purple aura, protagonist declares with unwavering determination, "This time I must become strong enough not to rely on anyone or any god. I'll become strong enough to crush even the gods under my feet. Just wait, Heloise." Outside a hospital, protagonist recalls vital information. He said that 10 days before the trial began, the innate abilities actually became effective, and if one discovers and utilizes their innate abilities, they can upgrade them. As protagonist walks through a hospital corridor, he remembers, in my previous life, my innate ability was E-rank virus resistance. He plans, according to that method, I think TO upgrade my innate ability. I must use the virus TO trigger and strengthen it in advance. A male colleague and a female associate discuss a patient, noting, such strange symptoms, truly unprecedented. The female associate adds, I feel like this patient is just like in the movies, while protagonist observes from a distance. The patient, restrained and gagged, thrashes with a monstrous, enraged expression, clearly a victim of the unfolding epidemic. Protagonist stands over the restrained patient, syringe in hand, confirming his suspicion with a grim pronouncement. Indeed, a zombie. Protagonist injects a glowing purple substance into the patient, declaring his intent. TO, utilize and train my virus resistance innate ability. I can only rely on you. He believes, these should be enough for me. TO, trigger my innate ability. Protagonist, masked and determined, holds the syringe containing the glowing purple substance. He is convinced this dose is sufficient to finally trigger his innate ability. Protagonist surveys the empty dorm room, noting that no one is present. He knows his roommates stayed up all night, leaving him undisturbed for his desperate gamble. Close-up reveals protagonist's grip on the syringe, the purple liquid pulsing. A chilling thought crosses his mind. If his theory proves incorrect, this could very well be his end. Protagonist's expression hardens, his eyes fixed with grim resolve as he prepares to administer the unknown substance. With a desperate forget it, protagonist plunges the syringe into his arm, the purple liquid flowing into his veins. He recalls his past, decades spent as a weakling before the reset, barely surviving until he finally made some progress. Protagonist convulses violently, a guttural ugh escaping his lips as his veins bulge, reacting to the injection. He's consumed by the fear of awakening another E-rank ability, knowing that even with future knowledge, he'd be too weak. The thought of restarting only to remain weak makes him feel he might as well just die now. Protagonist collapses to the floor, his body racked with pain, gasping as the effects of the virus overwhelm him. As protagonist struggles to rise, a majestic yet sinister figure, the ethereal antagonist, materializes above him, radiating an ominous purple glow. He is trapped in a dark, ethereal realm. The ethereal antagonist's smile widens, her arms extending as she commands protagonist to surrender to the darkness. She mocks his humanity, declaring that his most fitting end is to become one with her shadowy realm. Still on his knees, protagonist's head is bowed, but a defiant he, lo, likely hell no, or a struggle to speak, escapes his lips, refusing to yield. Protagonist's face contorts with fierce determination, his eyes burning with defiance as he roars, I will conquer you. He refuses to accept defeat, questioning how he could possibly fall here. Suddenly, protagonist is back in the dorm room, standing by the window, gazing out at the bright, mundane world, as if waking from a nightmare. Protagonist turns, revealing blood trickling from his nose and mouth, his face still marked by the visible, throbbing veins, a testament to the ordeal he just endured. Three male colleagues recoil in horror, letting out a collective HHHHH at the sight of protagonist. Protagonist stands before his terrified male colleagues, his arms still visibly veiny. One of them shouts, "What's going on?" while another calls out his name, clearly alarmed. A closer look at protagonist's face reveals blood seeping from his nose and eyes, his skin still a roadmap of dark, pulsating veins. Unfazed by their shock, protagonist calmly walks past his stunned male colleagues, heading towards the bathroom. Protagonist's disfigured face forms a subtle, almost sinister smile as he mutters, "You're back?" Protagonist announces he'll go wash his face, a male colleague observing him with a nervous as he heads for the door. Protagonist continues his stride, disappearing through the doorway, leaving his male colleagues to ponder his strange state. Staring at his reflection, protagonist's face lights up with triumph. It worked. That theory was correct, he exclaims. The zombie virus didn't kill him. Instead, his innate ability has successfully upgraded, a visible transformation on his reflection. Protagonist looks contemplative, his mind racing. He wonders about the true level of his innate ability now that it has awakened. Protagonist gazes upwards as a brilliant system message descends, congratulating Chun Bal on being selected as a pioneer, granting him the title and an early awakening. He recognizes it as the voice of the universal will. A triumphant smile spreads across protagonist's face. "I've awakened." Then, he muses, immediately commanding the system to open the title interface. The Pioneer title grants a 5% increase to all attributes and a 10% boost to experience gain, allowing him to awaken his attribute panel early. He declares it a percentage boost, a perfect title. Protagonist's smile turns sinister as dark energy swirls around his outstretched hand. And then, the innate ability panel, he announces, eager to uncover his new powers. Protagonist stands at the center of a maelstrom of shadowy, virus-like entities, a system notification revealing his new innate ability, Virus Monarch, the most powerful ability in the virus element. It grants him the power to absorb, utilize, manipulate, transform, and even create viruses. Protagonist holds out his hand, purple energy crackling, but a system message clarifies his current limitations. He can only absorb viruses within a very limited range. To truly enhance his power, he needs a massive amount of virus. Protagonist's boot lands firmly on the pavement outside a large hospital, its sign prominently displayed, hinting at his next move. Chaos erupts as people flee in terror, some already succumbing to the infection and transforming into monstrous zombies. Desperate cries of help and run echo through the streets. Scene descends into utter pandemonium as civilians stumble and fall, one woman collapsing while a man tumbles to the ground, screaming, "It's crazy, crazy." The pandemonium intensifies as a civilian screams about zombies, declaring it the end of the world. Amidst the chaos, the protagonist calmly questions the nature of the threat. Crucial memory resurfaces within the protagonist's mind, a dawning realization that brings clarity to the unfolding horror. His past life memories flood back, recalling hushed tales of 3 peculiar incidents that predated the trials. Among them, the infamous sealed hospital stands out. Confirming his suspicions, the protagonist realizes he's arrived at the sealed hospital. As a bewildered civilian questions his presence, the protagonist grins, declaring his arrival perfectly timed. From the sky, a grotesque zombie plummets towards the ground, while the protagonist stands his ground, a wicked smirk playing on his lips amidst the fleeing populace. With swift precision, the protagonist slams the falling zombie to the ground, a sharp impact echoing as he takes control of the situation. Purple energy crackles around the protagonist's hands as he absorbs the zombie's essence, a system notification confirming he's gained a zombie virus and 1 virus point, usable for strengthening abilities. He exclaims his satisfaction. Standing tall amidst a horde of shuffling undead, the protagonist declares with chilling resolve that none of them will escape his grasp today. Inside the hospital, a relentless zombie pounds against a door, its desperate attempts to break through echoing with ominous crashes and bangs. The scene shifts to the hospital's 4th-floor restroom, where a man observes a woman retreating further into the confines. A man with light brown hair, his face contorted in terror, desperately bangs on the flimsy door, screaming that it's all over and the barrier won't hold much longer. The door shatters as a monstrous zombie arm bursts through, reaching for the terrified man who screams that there's no escape, that death is inevitable. Overcome by sheer terror and despair, the man descends into a fit of hysterical laughter, his sanity cracking under the immense pressure. Kneeling on the floor, a distressed female character in a nurse-like uniform laments their predicament, desperately asking what they should do and calling out for Director Lee. The female character looks up at Director Lee, who, in turn, questions her distressed state, asking what is wrong. Director Lee's face twists into a depraved grin as he clutches the female character, revealing his sinister intentions. He confesses to a long-standing pursuit and suggests that with death imminent, he should finally indulge himself. The female character, horrified, screams at Director Lee, demanding to know if he's lost his mind and what absurdities he's uttering. Gruesome zombie hand smashes through the wall, further compromising their precarious refuge with a resounding crash. Director Lee's sinister facade crumbles into sheer terror as a zombie lunges from the newly breached wall behind him, screaming in despair that he doesn't want to die. The female character, still gripped by Director Lee, looks on in utter terror as the situation spirals further out of control. Amidst the escalating chaos, Director Lee desperately drags the female character, a zombie closing in, as he screams in terror that he refuses to die. Desperate for an escape, Director Lee sprints towards a window, his mind racing as he acknowledges their perilous position on the 4th floor. With a desperate lunge, Director Lee smashes through the window, plunging into the open air as shards of glass explode around him. Hot on his heels, a zombie tumbles out of the same shattered window, a chilling whoosh accompanying its descent. Director Lee desperately clings to the building's edge, blood trickling from his nose, his face a mask of pure terror as he hangs precariously. Below, the grim reality of the outbreak is laid bare, with 2 lifeless bodies sprawled on the ground, one with its jaw grotesquely agape. A moment of eerie quiet descends upon the hospital corridor, sunlight casting long shadows across the empty tiled floor. The protagonist stands over the fallen female character, his gaze intense as he assesses the situation, a silent acknowledgement of the grim scene. As purple energy crackles around his hand, the protagonist reaches for the female character, declaring that there should still be time to initiate virus absorption. Protagonist's thoughts race, knowing the military will soon arrive to seal off the hospital, making it crucial to find someone who can guide him through the facility. With fierce resolve, the protagonist focuses his power, attempting to extract all the zombie virus from the female associate, hoping to prevent her full transformation. Purple lightning surges from the protagonist's hand, channeling directly into the female associate's forehead as the virus is aggressively drawn out. Soft gasp escapes the female associate's lips as her eyes snap open, the zombie virus receding and her consciousness returning. The protagonist observes the female associate, a slight smirk gracing his lips as he internally confirms his success. It worked. Looking up at the protagonist, the female associate manages a shaky "thank you," her voice filled with relief. Protagonist notes that the female associate hadn't fully lost consciousness, to which she confirms, "I know what happened." He then begins to explain his need for her help. "No problem," the female associate agrees, but shyly adds, "I want to change into some clothes first," clearly uncomfortable with her tattered attire. "There's no time," the protagonist asserts, pulling the female associate forward and demanding she lead him immediately to the hospital's most virus-laden location. Guiding him to the laboratory, the female associate explains it's the hospital's primary source for viruses and clinical samples, to which the protagonist confidently declares, "These should be enough." As the protagonist begins to mix unknown substances in a beaker, the female associate nervously asks, "What are you planning to do?" only to be met with a terse quiet from him. Activating virus absorption, the protagonist rapidly gains power. Initial acquisition of hepatitis virus, gain 10 virus points. Initial acquisition of influenza virus, gain 0.7 virus points. Initial acquisition of herpes virus, gain 5 virus points. Initial acquisition of HIV virus, gain 10 virus points. The surge of purple energy around his hand, the protagonist confirms, all absorbed, as he prepares for the next phase of his plan. The protagonist focuses his will, intending to strengthen the zombie virus with all the viruses he has just absorbed. Surrounded by the ethereal forms of various viruses, the protagonist contemplates, concluding that it seems the most beneficial for enhancing my strength at the moment is. System confirms the evolution. Zombie virus evolves into the dark light virus. All attributes increase by 10. Self-healing ability increases by 200%. Successfully obtained the core ability of the dark light virus to evolve and devour. A surge of power envelopes the protagonist as he recognizes his new form, Dark Light Virus. This is a virus primarily focused on devouring and evolving. Suddenly, the female associate cries out in alarm, pointing frantically, "Zombies are coming!" At the door. With a swift, decisive motion, the protagonist lunges forward, striking the approaching zombie with a crackling burst of energy. Gripping the zombie's head, the protagonist observes, faster than before, this zombie probably weighs about 150 pounds, doesn't feel difficult at all, before deciding, this is a good opportunity to test the new ability on you. Dark, sinuous tendrils erupt from the protagonist's hand, burrowing into the zombie's neck as the devouring process begins. The protagonist lifts the struggling zombie effortlessly, its body being rapidly consumed by the expanding mass of dark, devouring tendrils. A chilling rustle sound accompanies the zombie's horrifying transformation as the dark tendrils engulf its screaming face. The zombie is now a compact, writhing mass of dark tendrils, fully absorbed and emanating from the protagonist's hand as he stands with a look of grim satisfaction. With a series of hiss sounds, the tendrils retract into the protagonist's hand, the system confirming, "Absorb, devour, devour, devour." Flexing his arm, the protagonist notes the efficiency of his new power. "Very good, absorption speed is fast, and I feel some stamina recovery." The female associate stares, wide-eyed and trembling, barely able to stammer out, You just... Protagonist, a faint smirk playing on his lips, turns to the horrified female associate and calmly asks, "What's wrong?" A sharp, shuddering ha escapes the female associate's lips as she struggles to comprehend the gruesome sight she just witnessed. Meeting his gaze, the female associate declares, "You saved me. I trust you won't harm me," before solemnly promising, "I'll help keep your secret." Protagonist extends a hand, introducing himself as Chun Bai. The female associate, looking up at him, replies with her name, Su Xian. A guttural growl echoes through the corridor, startling female associate. Her eyes wide with terror, she gasps, This is? Protagonist's expression hardens as he deduces the military and police have sealed off the area, clearing out the zombies. He insists they must leave immediately. Grabbing female associate's hand, protagonist pulls her into a sprint down the hospital corridor, declaring they'll leave from the rooftop. Female associate, struggling to keep up, questions why they can't just leave directly, pointing out they aren't zombies. As they continue their desperate escape, protagonist reveals his urgency, stating he has no time to be isolated and questioned by authorities. Suddenly, a grotesque large gray beast with glowing eyes and razor-sharp fangs lunges from above, its terrifying visage filling protagonist's vision. The large gray beast swipes with a massive claw, forcing protagonist to react. Female associate screams in terror as the monster closes in. Wide-eyed and trembling, female associate can only stammer, This is completely overwhelmed by the monster's appearance. The large gray beast, a hulking figure of gray muscle and sharpened claws, stalks forward, its glowing red eyes fixed on its prey. Protagonist, now with a streak of blood on his leg, and female associate frantically scramble away from the pursuing large gray beast, its menacing form gaining on them. Brutal wound on protagonist's forearm gushes blood, a stark reminder of the beast's attack. Despite his injury, protagonist's gaze sharpens, a sinister grin spreading across his face as he remarks, "Interesting, there's actually a mutant." His grin widens, a dangerous glint in his eyes as protagonist muses, "I wonder what kind of evolution the blacklight virus will produce by absorbing you." Large gray beast lunges, a blur of gray muscle and fury, but protagonist stands his ground, bracing for the impact. With incredible speed, protagonist deftly evades the monster's crushing blow, the force of the attack leaving a crater in the floor. Protagonist retaliates with a powerful strike, slamming down on the large gray beast's head, causing its body to reel. Still airborne from his powerful attack, protagonist hangs in the air, a testament to his combat prowess. The large gray beast recovers, its red eyes flaring with renewed aggression as protagonist descends for another assault. The beast lunges with a devastating swipe, but protagonist, a mere blur of motion, narrowly ducks beneath the attack. Activating a potent ability, protagonist unleashes blasts of purple energy from his hands, striking the large gray beast and sending it sprawling. The large gray beast roars in agony, its glowing red eyes burning with a mix of pain and rage as it struggles to regain its footing. Protagonist kneels beside the fallen large gray beast, his hand glowing with purple energy as he touches its head, remarking that its overall quality seems on par with his own. Protagonist unleashes a new, terrifying ability, his dark hair transforming into whip-like tendrils of purple energy, ready to strike. With a surge of power, protagonist delivers a devastating punch, his purple energy lashing out as he strikes the large gray beast, sending it flying. Protagonist glances back at the large gray beast, now embedded in the wall, a small, glowing device in his hand. He mutters, "Tough," acknowledging the monster's resilience. Protagonist crouches low, his hands crackling with residual purple energy, his gaze sharp and focused, ready for anything. The large gray beast lies defeated on the ground, shattered debris around it as protagonist looms over it, preparing a final, crushing blow. The large gray beast lets out a final, agonizing shriek, its red eyes flaring with intense light before succumbing to protagonist's power, enveloped in a cloud of smoke. Protagonist, still in a fighting stance, realizes the attack wasn't enough, muttering that the beast's healing ability will make this a prolonged battle. Suddenly, a hand smashes an axe through a glass cabinet, shattering it to retrieve the weapon. The female associate, looking terrified and disheveled, clutches the axe she just retrieved, her uniform torn. Protagonist glances back as the female associate raises her axe, calling out to him in distress. The large gray beast lunges forward with a fierce roar, its red eyes burning, as protagonist prepares for the renewed assault. Protagonist deftly evades the large gray beast's savage claw swing, a blur of motion as he leaps away. Protagonist praises the female associate for her quick thinking, acknowledging her efforts. Protagonist stomps down on the large gray beast, axe raised, urging a swift end to the battle. Barrage of sharp, yellow energy slashes tears across the space, indicating a rapid, powerful assault. The large gray beast roars in agony, its chest ripped open by multiple dark slashes, blood splattering as its red eyes flare. Protagonist grins, a confident, almost wild expression on his blood-splattered face, axe still gripped tightly. Protagonist is suddenly overwhelmed, surrounded by multiple large gray beasts, parrying their relentless attacks with explosive force. Protagonist's foot crashes down with immense force, sending debris and shockwaves across the floor. Leaping high, protagonist screams "Go to hell" as he brings his axe down on the large gray beast below. Large gray beast retaliates with a furious roar, its red eyes blazing as it charges forward. Protagonist moves with blinding speed, his axe slipping from his grasp as he shifts his stance. Protagonist crouches low, his axe spinning in the air after being dropped, while the large gray beast kneels, seemingly weakened. Protagonist looks up at the beast with a smirk, acknowledging its surprising endurance in the face of his attacks. Protagonist delivers a powerful, glowing red fist strike, landing a devastating blow. Standing over the kneeling large gray beast, protagonist warns it not to leave its wounds unpatched, ominously adding, "Beware, your days are numbered." Large gray beast's rage intensifies, its red eyes flaring and veins bulging across its face. The enraged large gray beast unleashes a devastating counterattack, sending protagonist flying with a powerful blow. Protagonist screams in agonizing pain, blood erupting from his mouth as the force of the blow takes its toll. Female associate watches in horror, her face etched with shock and worry at protagonist's sudden injury. Protagonist's axe clatters to the ground, bouncing with a sharp impact as the female associate kneels nearby, overwhelmed. Large gray beast's hands grip protagonist's bloodied chest as it taunts him, "Heh, on the brink of death, you have no choice but to die." But protagonist defiantly thinks, "That's great." Protagonist, despite his wounds, stares up with a menacing grin, challenging the beast, "Want to tear me apart?" Large gray beast recoils in surprise and confusion, clearly taken aback by protagonist's unexpected defiance. Dark, tendril-like purple energy erupts violently from protagonist's body, swirling with raw power. Enveloped in the swirling purple energy, protagonist faces the large gray beast, which stares back in stunned disbelief at his sudden surge of power. System activates Evolution Devour as the monstrous form of the consumed large gray beast is enveloped in a surge of potent purple energy. Protagonist, surrounded by the same swirling purple tendrils, stands triumphantly over the dissolving beast, taunting it with a chilling question, "Now you're scared?" Close-up reveals protagonist's eyes burning with a cold, red glow as a sinister smirk plays on his lips. He declares, "It's too late." Protagonist floats effortlessly, his body still emanating dark purple energy tendrils that consume the last vestiges of the large gray beast below him, while female associate watches in the foreground. Female associate looks on with a mixture of awe and concern. A system notification flashes. Devour complete. Mutant consumed. Second stage clawed zombie. Scene shifts to protagonist's boots as another system message appears. Black light virus transformation in progress. Protagonist's hand undergoes a grotesque transformation, morphing into razor-sharp claws. The system confirms, obtained clawed zombie ability, bone claws. Protagonist stands, observing the purple energy swirling around his midsection, his thoughts consumed by the process, devouring, then evolving. Glowing hands and an aura of dark power, protagonist acknowledges his choice. He thinks, choosing the black light virus was indeed correct. Heavy boots echo on the tiled floor as a group of armed individuals approaches, signaling a new, imminent threat. A squad of armed soldiers, weapons raised, commands, "Please raise your hands." Protagonist looks on, a thought crossing his mind. Are those over there living people? Soldiers issue a stern warning to protagonist and female associate. "I'll count 2, 3. If there's no action, we'll shoot." The armed soldiers begin their countdown, their weapons locked on target. 3, 2. Protagonist swiftly scoops up female associate, declaring, "We should go." As the countdown hits 1, the order is given, "Shoot." Soldier takes aim, a precise targeting reticle glowing brightly as he prepares to fire. Bullets fly with a rapid rat-tat-tat as protagonist dashes, carrying female associate. She urgently directs him, "Turn right up ahead. There's a safe passage that leads to the rooftop." Female associate points the way as protagonist continues to flee, but a barrage of rat-tat-tat rounds impacts his back. Female associate gasps in alarm, seeing the bullet impacts on protagonist's back. He calmly reassures her, telling her to stay still and not speak. They emerge onto a vast rooftop, bathed in the clear light of day, offering a momentary reprieve from the pursuit below. Protagonist, still carrying female associate, bursts through the rooftop access door with a soft thud. Protagonist asks female associate, "Where's your home?" She responds with a slightly dazed AH. Before providing the address, Rongfeng neighborhood, North 4th Road, Hanbai Street. Protagonist looks at female associate with a confident smirk, simply stating, "Okay." Female associate's eyes widen in utter shock, her expression a mix of disbelief and fear. With an incredible burst of power, protagonist leaps into the sky, leaving shattered impact marks on the rooftop as female associate lets out a shocked whh. Protagonist soars through the air, carrying female associate, his expression resolute as they escape. They arrive at their destination, a peaceful residential area with modern apartment buildings. Rongfeng neighborhood, North 4th Road, Hanbai Street. A hand inserts a key into a door, granting them access to a safe haven. Inside, female associate offers to tend to protagonist's wound, pointing, "The bathroom is over there. Let me help you clean and dress your wound." Protagonist replies, "The bullet didn't stay inside, so it's almost healed. It's okay." Female associate insists, and oh, I have to take a look. Protagonist, with a slight smile, agrees, alright. The scene shifts to a clean bathroom sink, ready for the treatment of protagonist's rapidly healing injury. Protagonist's clothes lie discarded on the tiled floor, a clear sign he's preparing for the next stage of his recovery. The female associate points to protagonist's arm, observing that traces of his recent injuries still linger despite his rapid healing. She confirms that even on his stomach and chest, the healing process is not yet complete, a slight concern etched on her face. With a playful smirk, protagonist asks the female associate if consuming her would instantly complete his recovery. His smile widens, a hint of mischief in his eyes, as he challenges her, asking if she's willing to sacrifice herself for his full restoration. The female associate, though startled, asserts that he wouldn't truly devour her, stating he would have done so already if he intended to. Protagonist leans in, whispering that she's mistaken, as the previous environment simply wasn't suitable for such an act, leaving the female associate flustered. Now in the bathroom, protagonist declares the environment perfectly suitable, pulling at her clothing as he presses the question again. Are you willing to be eaten to help me recover? Her face flushes crimson, eyes wide with a mix of fear and arousal, as she stammers, wash it, clean it up, it's good. With a soft agreement, protagonist leans in, sealing their unspoken pact with a passionate kiss. The water cascades around them as protagonist and the female associate share an intimate embrace beneath the shower spray. Peaceful moment is abruptly interrupted by the insistent buzz of a phone vibrating on the floor near a slightly ajar door. The screen reveals a flurry of WeChat messages. Chunbai, where are you? Song-gu, the school beauty, is looking for you. And hey, are you dead? Your roommate said you went to Jiangqing First Hospital. As protagonist walks, thoughts of the sealed hospital and the suburban bombing swirl around him, shrouded in a dark, mysterious aura. The ominous aura expands to reveal grotesque, monstrous figures, alongside the chilling thought of the monster slaughterhouse. Protagonist admits he knows little about these three unsettling events. He navigates a bustling street, lamenting the scarcity of information about events preceding the trial's arrival, noting how casually such grave matters are discussed. On the phone, protagonist assures Su Xin he's bringing breakfast, but is interrupted by news that two people are looking for him, claiming Song Ziqiong wishes to meet. He reacts with surprise. Oh, Song Ziqiong. The female associate, observing the two sinister-looking men in suits, warns protagonist that they don't seem trustworthy, suggesting that Song Ziqiong wanting to see him is likely a scam, despite her reputation as the queen of Jiangqing. Stressed, the female associate asks protagonist what to do. His voice from the phone calmly instructs her that they aren't lying and to tell them to wait outside, to which she hesitantly agrees. Protagonist reviews his messages, realizing that Song Ziqiong, the mother of the school beauty, is interested in him. He deduces that if she knows where Su Xin lives, she must possess valuable information. A determined glint in his eye, protagonist concludes that a meeting with Song Ziqiong is now necessary. The scene shifts to the suburban freezer warehouse under a clear sky, revealing the domain of Song Ziqiong, a woman who rose from poverty to become Jiangqing's wealthiest, mastering both legal and illicit enterprises. Suited man greets protagonist as he exits a luxury car, revealing that Song Ziqiong awakened as an A-level talent after the trial, rapidly consolidating her power to unify Jiangqing and earn the title of its queen. Protagonist gazes up at the glamorous Song Ziqiong, reflecting that, in his past life, she was a figure he could only admire from afar. With a confident smirk, protagonist acknowledges that circumstances have changed. He believes that recruiting Song Ziqiong to his side could significantly enhance his capabilities before the upcoming trial. The corridor of the suburban freezer warehouse, a suited man announces protagonist's arrival to Miss Song, whose back is turned to them. Song Ziqiong, the formidable queen of Jiangqing, apologizes to protagonist for making him come to her, explaining that she was unable to leave. Protagonist meets her gaze, confidently asking if there was a specific reason she wished to see him. Touching his jacket, Song Ziqiong explains that she called him because Xiao Ge, worried about him being out of contact at Jiangqing First Hospital, sought her assistance. With a knowing, seductive smile, Song Ziqiong reveals her true motive. She wanted to assess the man who could make Xiao Ge so nervous, curious about his mysterious charm. Having heard enough, protagonist, direct and unyielding, cuts to the chase, demanding to know female associate's true intentions, asking, I don't like beating around the bush, so what's your real purpose, Auntie Song? Female associate acknowledges protagonist's straightforwardness with a sly, knowing smirk, stating, you're quite straightforward, so I won't beat around the bush either. With a bold gesture, female associate proposes. How about being mine? She continues, suggesting that if protagonist also has feelings for her daughter, Xiaogu, then becoming her son-in-law isn't out of the question. Protagonist, turning away, dismisses her audacious proposal, stating firmly, I don't think you have a reason to get me. Female associate, undeterred, reveals her knowledge of his past actions, remarking, seeing your heroic performance at the hospital, anyone would develop feelings, right? Protagonist is visibly startled, a shockwave radiating around him as the word hospital echoes in his mind. His expression tightens as he recalls, I remember I destroyed the hospital's surveillance and power supply. He then demands to know, how did you know, and how did you find me so quickly? Female associate's hand presses an elevator button, revealing her method. At least, in the time it took to get from the lobby to the monitoring room, my people could still trace you. Holding her phone, female associate adds with a confident smile, and conveniently, I have someone in the hospital. Her phone screen displays a chat log. Alan, her contact, reported being trapped by zombies, then later, saved by a super powerful person who cleared the ward, confirming protagonist's heroic presence. The screen then shows a video still of protagonist in action, and female associate reveals she took this. Standing beside a dark-haired woman, female associate explains her good fortune. My luck has been pretty good. Among the survivors brought out from the isolation by the troops this morning, I found a colleague of Su Xian who is quite familiar. Protagonist's eyes widen in surprise as he hears the name, Lu Feng. Flashbacks unfold. Protagonist recalls Lu Feng in the bathroom, while a pink-haired woman recounts how he tried to rape her and push her to zombies. Protagonist remembers Lu Feng's failed escape through a window, leading to his gruesome death by zombies, concluding, the one hanging on the window, I thought that was a dead person. Pink-haired woman, lying beside protagonist, expresses her intense hatred for Lu Feng, saying, it's best if he's dead. I hate him so much. Protagonist simply responds, yeah. The pink-haired woman, now feeling much better, seductively asks protagonist, shall we continue, Chinbai? Protagonist, however, appears weary, suggesting, let it go, I really didn't expect you to be a first-timer, that scream just now was tragic. Determined, the pink-haired woman aggressively pulls the blanket over them, insisting, no, today I must satisfy my lifesaver. Back in the present, protagonist asks female associate about the isolated survivors. Anti-song, can you tell me where the isolated survivors are? She replies with a challenge, be my man, and I'll tell you, what do you say? Protagonist, with a stern expression, tells female associate, you're underestimating me, anti-song. She concedes, true, with just this piece of information, of course, I can't match your skills, but I can still... As protagonist walks away, female associate clarifies, no, you've misunderstood. What I mean is, you know too little about me. If you knew more, you would understand. Protagonist, with a confident smirk, rejects her proposition outright, declaring, I can't be your man. Dark energy claws begin to manifest around protagonist's hands as he asserts his dominance, a menacing smile on his face. But it's you who should be mine. Female associate and her dark-haired associate recoil in shock, female associate exclaiming, is this a mutation of the zombie virus? Protagonist's hand glows with raw purple energy, dismissing their assumption with a single word, wrong. The purple energy still swirling around his hand, protagonist flips her earlier challenge, asking, be my woman, and I'll tell you what this is. What do you say? Female associate, still defiant, rejects his terms, stating, you're underestimating me, Chun-Bai. Just based on these claws, you can't win me over. She then playfully questions his motives. Moreover, you already have a young and pretty nurse. Why are you interested in an old aunt like me? Protagonist leans in, captivating female associate, complimenting her beauty. Who wouldn't be tempted by such a beautiful woman? He then asserts her value, claiming, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. At least in these days leading up to the apocalypse, there's much more you can do for me than Su Xian. Female associate, surprised, questions his talk of an apocalypse, with just a few zombies? Protagonist's dark smirk deepens as he dismisses the current threat, stating, zombies? They're not even worthy of being called a warm-up. Female associate's eyes narrow as she realizes, warm up? You know a lot. Protagonist confirms her suspicion with a cryptic smile, more than you imagine. Female associate, now serious, proposes a new dynamic. We're not the type to easily submit to others. Let's cooperate. My help for your information. How about it? The alliance is sealed with a firm handshake as protagonist acknowledges that winning over the queen of Jiangcheng, the female associate, will be no easy task. She simply responds, of course. The confident smirk, female associate admits her anticipation for a man capable of truly conquering her, urging protagonist to keep up his efforts. Suddenly, a loud bang echoes through the area, startling everyone. Female associate questions the source of the gunshots, wondering what could be happening. Female associate reveals that Commander Huang had sent Captain Zhao to negotiate with her last night, informing them that refrigerated warehouses had been requisitioned to store live zombies and survivors from isolation hospitals. A worried expression crosses female associate's face as she deduces the gunfire must be from them, baffled how things could go wrong with only 30 sluggish zombies and half a platoon stationed there. Protagonist, deep in thought, muses that the zombies' sluggishness in low temperatures led to their unexpected discovery. He then realizes the military wouldn't know that extreme conditions significantly increase the probability of zombie mutations. Protagonist's eyes sharpen as he pieces together the information. Suburban cold storage, mutated zombies. He wonders if this could be the very location of the suburban bombing he knows about. With a dangerous glint in his eyes, protagonist declares they must go check it out, excited by the prospect of encountering a new kind of mutation. Amidst the chaos, a soldier shouts for hand grenades, launching one towards the massive, mutated large gray beast. Another soldier, in a desperate attempt, yells to throw the grenades directly into the monster's gaping maw. The large gray beast reels back, a confused expression on its monstrous face as the grenades detonate inside it. A massive cloud of smoke and debris billows outwards, obscuring the battlefield in the wake of the explosion. Soldiers stare wide-eyed at the dissipating smoke, their expressions a mix of shock and apprehension. From the clearing smoke, the large gray beast emerges, letting out a ferocious grrrr as purple energy crackles around its seemingly uninjured form. Captain Zhao barks orders, realizing their weapons are ineffective. He commands everyone to group up, spread out, and attract the monsters, emphasizing they must hold out until reinforcements arrive. Female associate, now dressed elegantly, approaches Captain Zhao and orders him to tell his men to cease fire and retreat. A stunned Captain Zhao questions her intentions. With a knowing look, female associate clarifies that their efforts are futile, as their weapons cannot even injure the meat mountain of a creature. She insists Captain Zhao's men should not die in vain. Imposing silhouette of the large gray beast looms behind female associate, emphasizing the sheer size of the threat. Female associate instructs Captain Zhao to protect her cold storage employees and the survivors, ordering them to evacuate quickly. Captain Zhao protests, stating the monster is too fast and escape is impossible without someone restraining it. Amidst the chaos, a woman identified as Luli lies sprawled on the ground, apparently caught in the monster's rampage. With a confident, almost alluring smile, female associate dismisses Captain Zhao's worries, telling him to simply follow her orders and not concern himself with the monster. Protagonist, his hand glowing with dark purple energy, launches a powerful strike. He inwardly comments that even a casual grab from the monster almost dislocated him. Protagonist grimaces, acknowledging the monster's immense power, noting that even a casual grab nearly dislocated him. He realizes that brute force alone might not be enough to defeat it. The large gray beast unleashes a devastating punch, but protagonist deftly evades, his purple-clad hand a blur of motion. Despite his agility, protagonist takes a direct hit from the monstrous beast, sending him sprawling as a spray of blood erupts. Even as he's sent flying, protagonist quickly recovers, extending his empowered, purple-glowing hand, ready to unleash a counterattack. Protagonist lands a critical blow, the force of his attack sending the colossal large gray beast staggering backward, its face twisted in agony. Protagonist stands firm, facing the large gray beast, which, despite its injuries, continues to struggle with defiant roars. With a violent turn, the large gray beast smashes through a concrete wall, creating a gaping hole as female associate and Captain Zhao watch the destruction unfold. Stunned, Captain Zhao questions female associate, asking if she's raising a monster. With a sly smile, female associate corrects him, stating that protagonist is a person, then begins to explain their connection. Protagonist stands firm on the grotesque pile of meat, commanding his partner not to consume it. Protagonist looks down at the vast quantity of flesh, lamenting its waste as purple tendrils erupt, activating the evolution devour skill to consume it. The purple energy recedes from the monstrous flesh, now shrunken and depleted, as protagonist stands over the remnants of the consumed creature. Captain Zhao and female associate observe the grotesque monster, which convulses and slams against the wall, scattering debris. As protagonist descends, the system confirms devouring complete, revealing that the blacklight virus has evolved, granting increased strength and endurance. He muses that the premium beef not only restored his energy but also leveled him up. Protagonist observes the monster below, noting its desperate attempts to replenish its energy, appearing utterly exhausted and fumbling aimlessly. With a chilling grin, protagonist's arm transforms into a deadly, clawed weapon as he declares it's the monster's turn to die. Protagonist's transformed arm slams into the monster with blinding force, causing a powerful impact that shocks Captain Zhao and female associate below. Protagonist unleashes a furious barrage of strikes upon the monster, his clawed arm tearing through its form, showering the area with purple energy and shattered fragments. The monster attempts to retaliate, its massive hands reaching for Protagonist, but he deftly evades the clumsy attack. A confident smirk crosses Protagonist's face as he remarks on his perfectly timed maneuver. Protagonist binds the monster's colossal hands with surging purple tendrils, completely immobilizing the beast. Captain Zhao stares in utter disbelief, his face contorted with shock, muttering that such a feat is definitely not possible. Captain Zhao watches in horror as the monster is completely consumed by the pulsing purple tendrils, convinced that what he's witnessing cannot possibly be the work of a person. Captain Zhao, holding a walkie-talkie, seizes the opportunity, declaring that now is the time to act while these two monsters are incapacitated. Urgently, Captain Zhao shouts into his walkie-talkie, demanding to know if reinforcements have arrived and attempting to request a missile launch with precise coordinates. A hand gently taps Captain Zhao's shoulder, interrupting his frantic call. Captain Zhao turns his head, his expression a mix of surprise and irritation at the sudden interruption. Female associate calmly advises Captain Zhao to compose himself, reminding him that Protagonist is currently helping them and even saved him. With a subtle, knowing smile, female associate warns Captain Zhao against any foolish actions, implying severe consequences for everyone if he proceeds. Protagonist stands calmly amidst a fortified zone, surrounded by military vehicles and defensive sandbags, surveying the situation. Captain Zhao, walkie-talkie in hand, issues a stern command for all units to load their bullets and remain on high alert. Female associate reminds Captain Zhao of his prior commitment, to which he responds that he understands and will not initiate an attack unless provoked. Meanwhile, Protagonist receives system notifications. First devourment of the Z-Class Mutant Flesh Mountain grants him 500 strength, form points, and 500 virus points, also unlocking new devourment, virus injection. System prompts confirm Protagonist has devoured rare mutant, Z-Class Mutant Flesh Mountain Zombie, significantly enhancing all abilities of his Blacklight virus. He also decomposed it to obtain the Flesh Mountain, Strength Form, ability, Heavy Hammer. Protagonist's arm fully transforms, manifesting into a colossal, glowing purple hammer, radiating immense power. Powerful, glowing purple weapon pulses with energy as Protagonist acknowledges this significant evolution. Protagonist stands tall and confident, both his arms now fully transformed into formidable, glowing purple weapons, one clawed and the other a massive hammer. Protagonist marvels at the immense power of his newly acquired heavy hammer ability, lamenting that there is nothing immediately available to test its destructive force. As the purple energy subsides from his hand, Protagonist acknowledges that this is undoubtedly the most significant gain of his day. Protagonist holds up a pulsating, red spherical object adorned with multiple unsettling mouths, identifying it as the Flesh Mountain Core. The protagonist grips the Flesh Mountain Core, a pulsating, red sphere with unsettling mouths. This rare material can be used to craft powerful equipment. He muses, if I find a way to control it, I can even use it to create a flesh wall that can grow infinitely. He contemplates, should I feed it some more? Grow another Flesh Mountain to test its strength? Woman with dark hair and a striking red dress walks into view as a voice calls out, Chen Bai. A hand gestures, introducing, let me introduce, this is Luli. Luli, a well-known journalist and internet celebrity, steps forward. The protagonist, with a knowing smile, confronts Luli. Was it you who secretly filmed me at the hospital? Luli, beaming, admits, yes, it was me. Thank you, you saved me twice. The protagonist dismisses her claim, it was just a coincidence. Did you record when I killed the Flesh Mountain? Luli apologizes. I'm sorry, it's my professional habit. I can delete it if you want. He instructs, keep it but don't send it out, I have a use for it. She agrees, okay, got it. A stern-faced man in a military uniform addresses the protagonist. Mr. Chun Bai, our military district commander, Commander Huang, hopes you can explain everything about yourself and what you know to the military. The protagonist stands stoically, observing the military official who waits behind sandbags. Menacing Commander Huang, with glowing red eyes, stares at the protagonist. A voice declares, Commander Huang, Huang Xingqiu, a name that's hard to forget. Below, a system message details, after the trials came, he coerced the awakened who were weak and alone, using them like pigs and dogs. The narration continues. At first, they used patriotism and national pride, but what followed was just arbitrary beatings and insults. The protagonist recalls his harsh past. I was one of them, starving, shivering, unable to even have a proper meal. The narration highlights the oppressive system. The most ridiculous thing is, anyone who tries to leave is accused of treason and hunted down. The protagonist, now with a backpack, walks through the city streets. Narrative states, it forced me to leave Jiangqing. The protagonist walks away, leaving a trail of footprints. The female associate asks the protagonist, boss song, should I go and explain? He replies, of course not, I don't know anything yet. The protagonist pauses, a hint of a smile playing on his lips, and says, but. The female associate confidently states, don't worry, I'll handle it. The military official addresses the protagonist and female associate. Mr. Chun, boss song, I hope you understand the duty of being a citizen of Longwa. Female associate retorts sharply, duty my ass. Stop talking like an official, you're just a platoon leader, not qualified enough. She then dismisses the military presence. You go tell Huang Xinghu, if he has any issues, he should come to me himself. The military official, taken aback, stammers, that's you. Another soldier approaches the military official, reporting, platoon leader Zhao. The isolated personnel over there are causing trouble, what should we do? Platoon leader Zhao reacts with alarm. Isolated personnel? Is there someone named Lu Feng among them? The protagonist interjects. Is that true? The soldier confirms. Yes, he's causing the most trouble. The protagonist, with a slight smirk, states, platoon leader Zhao, I want to see this Lu Feng. Platoon leader Zhao commands, bring him over. The protagonist and the soldier move forward. As they approach, a young man calls out, platoon leader Zhao, are you looking for me? Did my dad call you? He then reveals, my dad is the vice president of the first hospital, Lu Huinong. A hand gently rests on the young man's shoulder. A purple energy emanates from a hand, indicating a virus injection, zombie virus. Protagonist approaches the young man, stating, I'm looking for you. Someone asked me to pass on a message to you. The young man, startled, asks, who are you? The protagonist reveals, Su Xian told me last night in bed. Because of what you did to her with the zombie, she wants you dead. The young man, shocked, exclaims, how did you know? She couldn't possibly be alive. A voice warns, everyone, step back. He's about to turn into a zombie. The young man, confused and scared, asks, are you trying to play me? Young man, panicking, cries out, are you trying to trick me? Su Xian, that bitch, how could she be with you? Ethereal antagonist unleashes a devastating blow, her power crackling with purple energy. The protagonist is caught off guard, desperately trying to evade the overwhelming assault. A man in a suit lies defeated on the ground. Not bad. More powerful than I thought. Mutant hand? Is he a superhuman? Song boss, you did okay. I can tell you some information when we get back. You can call me Ziqiong from now on, or Song Jie. I don't think it's worth it to be your partner. Is it still possible for those who want to be with you now? Sleek white car drives down a sun-drenched road. Perfect timing, Mr. Chin. Please come over to my place for dinner. Don't disturb me until I get to your house, alright? It's time for the lottery draw. Let's see if there are any good rewards for defeating the meat mountain. 2 skill books appear, a promising sign for the protagonist's luck. Rampage Bloodlust. Active increases all attributes by 3 for 10 minutes, with a cooldown of 1 day. During cooldown, all attributes decrease by 50%. For me, this thing is totally not worth it. Muscle Enhancement. Passive greatly increases muscle mass. Doubles the growth rate of strength and constitution. This won't work either. From what I know, those who used this in the previous life all turned into muscle freaks, greatly reducing flexibility. Although it's not useful for me, these 2 skill books are quite valuable in the early stages of the trial. Whether it's for building a faction or rallying people, they are quite useful. Speaking of building a faction, it's time to start planning. The reward for killing Meat Mountain is 6 gold coins, just enough to form a chat group. I can use this chat group to gather pioneers and help them lay a solid foundation before the trial. Confirm creating chat group? Yes, 5 gold coins. The factions in the later stages of the trial were complete. The relationships established in the earlier stages of the trial are crucial. You are creating chat group 001. Please name it. Select cancel to automatically name it with the number. Cancel naming. Heloise, I will rebuild my White Emperor city and make it a divine kingdom, and you will become the lowest dog under my feet. Song Ziqiong's private villa. In the cosmic trial, more than 90% of people will become monsters and become gifted evolvers. And also firearms and most electronic devices should be enough for you to deal with and gain an advantage, right? Oh, not enough. Chan Bai, let's get straight to the point. How can I become your person? First is ability. I don't need useless people. Second is loyalty. Absolute loyalty, like a loyal dog to its master. Loyalty I can provide. As for ability, I believe I am qualified. Influence, money, status, injunction, no one can compare to me. Current power, status and money have no value other than making the idea of enslaving you more tempting. The next auction items, the former queen and princess of Viangcheng. Bringing the lofty queen back home, isn't that what everyone dreams of before the trial? What's the difference between being a loyal dog here and being a plaything elsewhere? This is a stage where you can exert your strength, a place where a master won't restrict you out of fear, because I will always be stronger than you and above you. I feel like if I hesitate any longer, I'll miss out on a very important opportunity. Her heels click on the floor as she moves. Kneeling before the protagonist, she declares, "I am willing to serve you, master. I must say, your reputation and status make the emotional value you can provide very high. It's quite exciting. Let me witness your charm in person. Also, I have some tasks for you to handle." Two women, engrossed in their phones, are in a room. A message reads, "Ching Er, have Luli send Chun Bai's video to you, then take her home. She's been through too much these past few days and needs rest. After that, find someone to keep Chun Bai's posts prominently displayed on major forums." His post is titled, "To the Pioneers with the Post ID, Pioneer White Emperor." The woman with green hair stares intently at her phone. "Luli, Ms. Song wants you to send Chun Bai's video to me, then take you home to rest." The other woman asks, "Go home? Is there nothing I can help with?" The green-haired woman replies, "Ms. Song says you've been through a lot these past 2 days and he wants you to go home, rest, and calm down." "Alright, Miss Lung. Although I almost died at the hands of zombies today, strangely, the shock I received doesn't seem as intense as when I first saw a zombie. I don't know if it's because I've accepted the possibility of dying at the hands of zombies, or Mr. Chun Bai's strength makes me feel at ease." A phone rings, displaying daughter. Protagonist looks at his phone, saying, "Oh, Songgu?" A woman walks down the street, speaking on the phone. "Hello, Mom? Chungu said you wanted me to come home. Is there something wrong?" Protagonist answers the call. "It's me, Chun Bai." The protagonist replies, "She's busy working and eating, no time to talk. You come home and talk, it's very important." The woman on the other end sounds exasperated. "Okay, and you, Chun Bai, wait for me at home. I sent you so many messages and you didn't respond." She holds up the phone, calling out, "Chun Bai?" Flustered, she exclaims, "Damn Chun Bai, I'll make you kneel under this girl's pomegranate skirt sooner or later." The female associate asks the protagonist, "Master, can you also protect my daughter? She lacks ability, and her character has been spoiled by your indulgence. But if you work hard enough, I can guarantee that she will most likely not become a monster when the trial arrives." The protagonist smiles, stating, "If you work hard enough, I can guarantee that she will most likely not become a monster when the trial arrives." She looks at him with a blush, saying, "Thank you, master." Exterior shot of a large, modern building labeled Suburban Secret Warehouse. The woman on the phone questions, "Mom, you're not being deceived by Chun Bai, are you? How can you believe something so absurd?" One woman states, "I stopped you from looking for Chun Bai last night because of this. After you get off the car, don't speak, just look obediently." The other replies, "Oh." The green-haired woman reports, "Mr. Chun, I visited all the places rumored to have zombies and monsters in the entire city yesterday. In the end, only this place was found. This place used to be an underground casino, but now both the house and the gamblers inside have turned into zombies. There are about 160 of them, and I didn't find any special zombies like Meat Mountain." The protagonist ponders. He states, "Zombie slaughterhouse? No, impossible. Rare monsters because they're indoors. Meat Mountain is because it's extremely difficult to kill. And this place is remote, so if something happens, it's hard for people to remember and spread it. Went to all the places rumored to have zombies and monsters, but only found them here? Yes. It seems someone is still collecting zombies. The place where he puts them should be the zombie slaughterhouse. The military only dares to contain a few dozen zombies at most, but this person wants to collect all the zombies and monsters. Is he a curious adventurer or a pioneer who knows some information? Quite exciting." Open the door. The protagonist watches as two individuals begin to pry open a large door. Suddenly, a horde of zombies with glowing red eyes lunges out from the darkness, their roars filling the air. The zombies overwhelm the individuals trying to open the door, tossing them aside as they surge forward. The protagonist stands his ground, observing the chaos as zombies are flung through the air. A monstrous zombie lunges at the protagonist, its eyes burning with malice. Meanwhile, two women react to the unfolding events, one with shock, the other seemingly engrossed in her phone. A hand reaches out, its ethereal tendrils grasping at the protagonist's head as the words "virus absorption" flash on screen. System prompt: congratulations on obtaining the Zombie Hunter title. You have killed over 300 zombies. System prompt: collected 500 samples of zombie class viruses. You can exchange zombie virus serum formula samples for points. Join the talent tree zombie virus entry. This is a valuable item. Even awakened talents can be troubled by zombie viruses. Unlock zombie virus serum formula? After all, not everyone has talents immune to viruses and an ultra-strong physique. Yes, 300 virus points. Protagonist calls out, Song Zicheong, call everyone in. Below, a woman asks, do you all remember what I told you before we set off? Group of women, led by one with a baseball bat, respond with a resounding yes. Fighting zombies with cold weapons will greatly reduce the chance of turning into a monster when the trial comes. Killing zombies unharmed will definitely not turn you into a monster. Protagonist grabs a zombie-like creature by the neck, stating, let me see your strength. Another voice asks who's going first, one by one. Woman with green hair steps forward, preparing for a fight as she states, me. The protagonist and the green-haired woman engage in a rapid exchange of blows with the zombie-like creature. The green-haired woman expertly dodges an attack and flips the creature to the ground. Creature hits the ground hard, blood erupting from its mouth. Fast speed, ruthless and accurate. A woman with a baseball bat swings it powerfully at an opponent. The opponent is knocked down as the protagonist observes the scene. The strength is not enough. Knocked down in one hit, but it took more than 10 hits to finish. The protagonist surveys the scene as two individuals lie on the ground, seemingly defeated. Strength is too weak. Got tackled by a zombie, but managed to kill by relying on familiarity with human body structure. A woman, clearly distressed, holds a baseball bat as another calls out, Song-gu, it's your turn. A close-up on a distressed woman's legs, her skirt hiked up, clutching a baseball bat with a trembling grip. Woman, clearly distressed, holds a baseball bat as another calls out, Song-gu, it's your turn. Protagonist's intense gaze, a hint of disdain in his eyes. Being scared without even fighting, failed. Protagonist turns away, a cold demeanor radiating from him. In the background, the distressed woman is being addressed. Zicheong, come here. Here. Protagonist and female associate walk together, discussing their investigation. Lung Shuang went to all the places where there were rumors of zombies and monsters but found nothing. This is abnormal. Investigate it thoroughly. Yes. Female associate looks back at protagonist, a worried expression on her face. Chunbai, about Song-gu, protagonist replies, too bad, especially Song-ge, I don't have time to slowly train them. You arrange for her practice. Female associate's gaze shifts, a subtle smile playing on her lips as she asks, but you haven't eliminated the virus? Female associate offers something to protagonist, her expression shifting from concern to a more serious tone. Here, take this. Protagonist takes the offered item, a piece of paper, with a questioning look. This is? Female associate reveals the contents of the paper. Zombie virus serum formula. She then remarks, so complicated steps. Protagonist looks at the formula, then at female associate. You can also put the materials on the formula to generate it yourself. Protagonist states, this is the preciousness of potion formulas. Female associate smiles confidently, holding the formula. Thank you for your trust. She adds, I will do my best to complete the task you entrusted to me and keep the formula safe. Protagonist nods, his expression unreadable. Go to your job, have someone send me back. Female associate replies, yes, I'll let Shuang-er send you. Protagonist stands alone, looking thoughtful as he holds his phone. I don't know if anyone has contacted me beforehand. Close-up on protagonist's phone screen, displaying a bizarre and lengthy message from someone claiming to be the White Emperor. Protagonist reads the strange message, a smirk forming on his face. What kind of stuff is this? Protagonist's eyes widen in surprise as he looks at his phone, a sudden realization dawning. Protagonist scrolls through private messages on his phone, a confident smile returning. Looks like not everyone is from LZI. Here are some gains. Protagonist is engrossed in his phone, reading messages that seem to be from a pioneering White Emperor. The conversation hints at a secret chat group and shared information. Protagonist receives a notification. Welcome Han Xiao to the chat group. He then mutters, Han Xiao? Protagonist's eyes narrow as he reads more messages, a name Shuichuan being mentioned. Pioneer, Shuichuan, it must be him. A majestic, ethereal figure with long white hair, surrounded by water, appears above protagonist, who looks up from his phone. The text reads, the Emperor-level powerhouse known as Suakun. Protagonist is typing on his phone, a confident grin on his face. He seems to be giving instructions. Yes, if you notice any other pioneers, you can invite them all in. Protagonist laughs heartily, clearly amused by the unfolding events. Ha ha ha. A dramatic title card appears. Welcome Shuichuan to the chat group. In a narrow alleyway, a woman named Lu Li discusses the zombie situation. Lu Li, is there any suit in the investigation of collecting zombies? She explains, yeah, it's the forces of the Jiangqing Lord who are doing this. They've sent all the collected zombies to the Mongol container yard near the Jiangqing wharf. Lu Li, looking worried, speaks into her phone. I sent someone to try to get more information, and now it's time to meet as agreed. But they haven't come back, and I think... Chaos erupts as Lu Li witnesses a gruesome scene. A man lies dead on the ground, and another person is on their knees, clearly horrified. Protagonist observes the aftermath, seeing several people incapacitated on the ground. A faint, sinister chuckle can be heard. A figure, likely the one responsible for the incapacitated individuals, perches on a ledge, looking down with a casual air. A disheveled figure, her hair a cascade of brown, is caught off guard. I've been discovered. The scene shifts to a sprawling estate under a bright, clear sky. This is Song Ziqiong's mansion. On a smartphone screen, a message exchange unfolds. Lu Hui messages by D, stating they've joined a group and read instructions, but still have questions about their talent's obscurity. They ask for clarification. System notification appears. Een Wood Body SS Een Wood is the most Een of all woods, the source of endless life. With the Een soul entering the body, it's the land of eternal life. Activate Wood Body, reduce 1 spirit. Activate Wood Body, reduce 1 constitution. Chun Bai is actually SS level. Protagonist, lounging in a chair, exclaims, it's SS level. The conversation continues. The cost of activating abilities is high, with normal initial abilities costing 3 to 5 points. Protagonist admits to hesitating. It's explained that if spirit is not below 3, activating Wood Body costs spirit. Constitution is the foundation, and 1 shouldn't be a glass cannon. Protagonist confirms they have 5 spirit and thanks by D. Protagonist, seated, asks the approaching female associate, in such a hurry? What's going on? Female associate, looking distressed, reveals Lu Li found out that all the collected zombies have been sent to the Mankai container yard. But Lu Li was caught. They're asking me to negotiate. Protagonist, now standing, asks, they contacted you? Get up. The female associate, startled, asks, did Lu Li give you up? Protagonist looks down at the female associate, stating, Master, I raised Lu Li myself. I'm sure she wouldn't betray us. Moreover, she was commanding from behind. The problem should lie with the people she sent out to investigate. Protagonist reassures, in this case, I will save her. The female associate replies, thank you, Master. The scene shifts to Mankai Container Yard, Zone B. The figure calls out, Miss Lu Li. Xing Meng, holding a glass of wine, addresses someone off-panel. You're a bit ignorant of the situation. I haven't touched you out of respect for Song Ziqiong. If she chooses to submit after she arrives, you'll be my subordinate. If not, close up on Xing Meng's sinister grin. The female associate is shown tied to a chair, looking distressed. A broken wine glass with spilled blood lies nearby. Xing Meng leans in towards the female associate, holding a glass of wine, saying, Here, let me toast you again. Don't spit it out so recklessly. The female associate's foot crushes the spilled wine glass. The words echo, a toast not drunk. Punishment wine doesn't taste good. A hand is shown cutting into a piece of meat on a plate. Protagonist observes the scene, commenting, there's no grace. Maybe the girl doesn't like drinking? Xing Meng, seemingly surprised, asks, when did this guy sit there? Protagonist, holding a piece of steak, gestures and says, hungry? I tried this steak, it's not bad. Xing Meng looks at protagonist, starting to say, you are... Protagonist gently pulls the female associate closer, who looks at him with adoration. Hearts float around them. Xing Meng, holding his wine, asks, Song Ziqiong sent you? No. If you could get this close without me noticing, you must be a pioneer too. Female associate's feet are shown, with the rope still trailing. A voice says, go ahead, Ziqiong is waiting for you in the car outside. Protagonist turns to the female associate, who looks up at him. He says, okay. Xing Meng smiles knowingly, stating, it seems that Song Ziqiong is already under your control. Protagonist confirms with a confident expression, that's right. Protagonist, looking down, remarks, interesting. It's unlikely the Queen of Jiangqing will surrender so easily. You must have some interesting methods. We can exchange ideas. I'm still very interested in these things. Among the 3 major forces in Jiangqing, I subdued the Lord and you subdued the Queen. Now only the commander remains. Let's toast to that. I refuse. Don't worry, I have an S-level talent. It's the highest level. Or, do you also like to drink punishment wine? Before I came here, I looked around. Not only are you collecting zombies, but you're also creating zombies from living people. Also, you're not worthy of my assistance because my talent is SSS level. My talent is called Slaughter Progression. It can permanently transfer part of the attributes of the killed target to myself, and it can grow indefinitely. This invincible top-level ability is only S level. Yours is SSS level. Are you afraid you'll become a god instantly? Close enough, but I can't tell you. It turns out it's an unlimited growth, pure combat-type talent. And that claw, it must be equipment. Arrogant kid, I hope you increase my attributes after your death. Don't disappoint me too much. Sinister suited man lunges forward, unleashing a barrage of attacks. The protagonist prepares to counter. The sinister suited man's eyes glow with power as he unleashes a devastating attack. The protagonist stands his ground. It's a skill. It seems he didn't fully explain his abilities. I don't know what effect the skill has. I have to be extra careful. Go to hell. The protagonist unleashes a powerful punch, imbued with dark energy, clashing against the sinister suited man's claw. The clash of their powers creates a massive explosion of energy. At the Mankai container yard, the protagonist dodges an incoming attack, preparing his own counter. Protagonist moves with incredible speed, his dark energy swirling around him. The two combatants exchange brutal blows, their powers clashing violently. A powerful strike lands, sending shockwaves through the area. Are you alright, kid? I don't think you have much strength left. Aren't you an SSS talent? Stop hiding your power and show me what you've got. I'm already using my talent. It's just that you didn't realize it. Stop bullshitting. The protagonist's eyes widen in a moment of intense focus. The protagonist lands a devastating blow, overwhelming the sinister suited man. His strength, physique, and agility are all lower than mine, but he's constantly pretending to be strong. Your little tricks are nothing in front of absolute power. What? Notice, the influenza virus exceeded the physical immunity limit. Strength +3, physique +2, agility +2, spirit +5. Encephalitis B virus exceeded the physical immunity limit. Strength +3, physique +2, agility +2, spirit +5. Notification. Gained negative buff, fear of light and water, abnormal body temperature, slow thinking, slow movement, increased stamina consumption. What's going on? Your physique is indeed good. It took so long for the virus to take effect. How does it feel to have so many illnesses? You sneaky bastard. The protagonist slams into the sinister suited man, engulfing him in a torrent of dark energy. Sneaky? I told you I am different. It's a pity that you didn't believe it. I'm going to absorb you and get the proceeds later. Don't disappoint me. System alert. Evolved human has been absorbed, and the black light virus has completed its initial awakening, providing a significant increase in its attributes and becoming the base attribute of the virus monarch's own body. System alert. Black light devouring ability has evolved. You can choose to view part of your target's memories, with a low probability of obtaining any of your opponent's mastered skills. The attribute bonuses provided by the black light virus have been changed from active use to base attribute bonuses. This is a huge benefit. Let's see how many attributes have been added. Previously, it was 30% more strength, 20% more spirit, and 100% more regeneration. Black light virus. Strength +50, agility +50, physique +50, spirit +40, life regeneration +200%. As expected, each element has been increased by 20 points. Evolved human number 001. Talent Virus Monarch SSS. Details Talent Tree. Level 2 1950/2000. Strength 65 +3. Agility 71 +3. Physique 61 +3. Spirit 48 +2. Title bonuses for Pioneer are in brackets. Charisma, Luck, 8 gold, 6 gold coins, 34 silver coins, 91 copper coins. It seems that we can no longer play around. Ordinary people with basic attributes below 5 are too fragile for me now. Equipment, blueprints, and consumables. This guy was pretty lucky. He must have killed mutant zombies. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to have attributes and equipment that exceed mine. Description of zombie claws and biohazard disaster. Zombie claws, agility +10, strength +8. Hitting the enemy will give a recovery bonus. Additional skills. Ghost claws, active +10% agility, +20% attack speed. Equipment requirements. Agility greater than or equal to 25. Evolver level equals 2. Biohazard disaster. SIL level production blueprint required materials. Zombie claws, equipment, muscle of the Roshan, bones of the tyrant, heart of the heretic, brain of the lord. It's actually a C-level production blueprint. This guy's luck attribute must be quite high. These are all mine now. The scene shifts to a dark night with stacked shipping containers under a crescent moon. From back then till now, my talent has gone from E to SSS, and the rumors of the 3 strange events have been very rewarding. The protagonist stands amidst shattered ice, radiating a powerful aura. Master, please get in the car. With my current strength, it's not worth the effort to look for the monsters that appeared randomly before the trial's arrival. Let's just try to organize and prepare for the development for after the advent. The scene transitions to a luxurious villa at night, labeled Song Ziqiong's Villa. Protagonist stands by a large window, gazing at the city skyline at night. Come in. A door opens slightly, revealing a bright interior. Master, fortunately, we have completed everything you asked us to do in a time. When the doomsday comes, we'll be able to clean up, take total control, and dominate first. The purchase of materials is finalized and the list has been compiled and sent to you. The 3 of us have confirmed these PR arrangements with each other. The time is almost up. What else would you like us to do? Nothing more. Well done. Just put all the information on the table. There are 10 minutes until the trials descend, so don't be complacent about your early advantage and rare talents. Stay calm. The trials bring dangers you can't even imagine, and I don't want anyone in this group to disappear in 10 minutes. Thanks to the group leader for the reminder. Thanks. And 9 minutes. 8 minutes. I can't wait. 7 minutes. Brother, calm down. 6. Group leader, I'm so nervous. There are only 5 minutes left. Don't be nervous, girl. Everyone is here. 4 minutes. I'm looking forward to it. Come and have a look, everyone. Soon, this quiet and peaceful scene will become history. There are still 5 seconds left. Sister Schwanger, I'm a little scared. Don't be afraid. She has not appeared anymore. June 15th, midnight, advent of the trial. The surviving humans will become evolved. Evolved humans will have inner abilities and can increase their level by gaining experience. Other races that emerge from the ruins of the world will also participate in the game of life and death. As your proving ground, the blue planet will become home of countless secret realms and world trees. This danger or opportunity, it's up to you to decide. Try your best to grow and evolve. Hourglass of time has been recognized and is now binding. Hourglass of time, recognize. No, they're still here, and Hourglass can't be known by anyone. You guys get out right now. Protagonist stands, a pensive expression on his face as he contemplates the silence. An impossible sight unfolds. A crashed airplane hovers, frozen in mid-air above a suburban house, trailing ethereal energy. Protagonist's eyes widen with disbelief, sweat beading on his brow as he processes the surreal event. His gaze drifts to the hourglass pendant around his neck, its contents shimmering with a faint, otherworldly purple light amidst a scattering of glowing particles. Turning away, protagonist stands silhouetted against a swirling vortex of purple light and shimmering orbs, his posture suggesting deep contemplation. A surge of intense purple energy erupts from protagonist's chest, engulfing him as he levitates, his eyes blazing with power. System notification confirms the time hourglass is bound successfully. The skill details reveal its ability to go back in time and erase the current timeline, with a staggering cooldown of 72 years, 6 months, and 7 days. Protagonist's expression shifts to one of dawning realization as he mutters, "Looking back, it seems that I was able to be reborn because of the hourglass." Another system window appears, detailing status save active and status read active. These abilities allow him to save and recall his current status with a cooldown of only 1 hour, requiring only soul binding. A confident smirk plays on protagonist's lips as he declares, "Such a powerful life-saving skill, with just only a 1-hour cooldown." A woman in a striking red cape and dark dress approaches protagonist, asking, "I feel like you just called us? Do you have any orders? Or did I hear it wrong?" Protagonist looks at her intently, his expression serious as he replies, "You heard me right. Please go and confirm the safety of our villa as soon as possible." He points forward, his voice firm as he instructs, "The night is very dangerous, so put everyone on alert and start clearing the villa area as soon as it's daylight." The female associate, along with 2 other women, responds with a unified yes. Next day dawns on a city in chaos, buildings ablaze and smoke billowing into the sky. Protagonist arrives at Song Zicheong Villa, surveying the scene where several people lie incapacitated on the grand staircase. He spots a figure with striking amethyst eyes emerging from the shadows, their gaze locked onto him. Crystal of Insight is activated, revealing the target's attributes and their changes based on mental strength. The system identifies the target as a zombie, normal, with specific stats: 5 agility, 3 physique, 4 spirit. Its weakness is its head, and its bite transmits a zombie virus. The zombie lunges with a horrifying scream, its eyes glowing red. Blur of motion as a figure, likely the female spellcaster, dodges the zombie's attack amidst a swirl of purple energy. An assassin appears, their breath invisible and undetectable. Their stats show increased strength, sensitivity, agility and shadow, and a 100% attack speed bonus on the first hit. The assassin lunges with a glowing red blade, targeting a victim. Assassin's swift, deadly strike connects, their red-eyed victim succumbing to the assault. In the Song Zicheong Villa lobby, a man in a suit carries an injured survivor, exclaiming, "We have wounded survivors." The injured survivor is laid down as a woman activates High-Speed Recovery B, which increases self-recovery and can be used on others. The man states, "Give him the zombie serum, and I'll treat him right away." Protagonist stands with female associate, who reports, "Yes, with your prior arrangement, we have all the territory and the people at our disposal." Protagonist remarks, "I see things are going pretty well now." They overlook the secured area, where a truck and several figures are visible. The female associate confirms, "No accidents have occurred so far." Protagonist turns to leave, telling the female associate, "Okay, I'll leave this to you, I have more important things to do." She replies, "Huh? Okay." The female associate screams in shock as a massive shockwave tears through the air, forcing her to brace against the sudden, violent gust. Protagonist dashes across the Zhongqing Mountain Road, his movements so rapid they leave glowing trails in his wake. Protagonist reflects on the early days of the Doomsday Trial, where the absence of modern technology like firearms made survival a grueling challenge. He pushes his speed to the limit, confident he can reach his destination before time runs out. The memory of the mysterious sign appearing over Zhongqing City University haunts him. It took too long to decipher its meaning, and now he is forced to live with the weight of those regrets. His gaze hardens with resolve. This time, he will not let the opportunity slip through his fingers. He arrives at Zhongqing University, the once bustling campus now standing in eerie, desolate silence under a heavy sky. Standing amidst the fallen, protagonist channels his energy, the purple aura swirling around his hand as he surveys the aftermath of the battle. Confident smirk plays on his lips as he recognizes the phenomenon, the very sign every evolver has been praying to witness. Above the city, the sky fractures, signaling the descent of a god's avatar. Protagonist knows exactly where the manifestation is occurring. It is right in front of him. As protagonist turns to leave, a voice calls out from the shadows, commanding him to stop. The goblin-like merchant flashes a sharp, greedy grin, noting that few possess the raw strength protagonist displayed so early in the trials. Unfazed, protagonist maintains his composure, offering a polite but calculated response to the creature's overture. The goblin-like merchant dismisses the formality with a wave of his gloved hands, downplaying the significance of their encounter. Protagonist steps forward, his posture open and disarming as he continues to butter up the merchant with calculated flattery. The two stand face to face, a silent tension lingering between the negotiator and the merchant. Protagonist's eyes gleam with recognition, his internal monologue confirming he knows exactly who stands before him. Goblin-like merchant reveals his identity with a flourish, Lord Leto, the god of trading. Lord Leto, clearly pleased by the praise, decides to offer protagonist a token of his appreciation. He presents a gold membership card, explaining that it grants the holder an exclusive discount at the Goblin Chamber of Commerce. Protagonist keeps his cool, recalling that in his previous life, this merchant was notoriously difficult to impress. He doubles down on his gratitude. Merchant displays his inventory, highlighting high-tier items like the Thunderwalker scroll and the Reaper's Touch sniper rifle. Protagonist recognizes the scroll. It is the very same one he obtained in his past life. The sight of these legendary items stirs a mix of nostalgia and ambition. He feigns regret, admitting that despite his desire to purchase the entire stock, his current funds are insufficient. Lord Leto chuckles, acknowledging the reality of the situation but insisting that his wares are far from worthless. Merchant encourages protagonist to keep striving for wealth, leaving the door open for future lucrative transactions. Protagonist pivots the conversation, probing for a different kind of deal, knowing that gods often seek investments in promising evolvers. Lord Leto's expression shifts to one of intrigued surprise, realizing the young man is far more insightful than he appeared. Protagonist pushes his luck, dangling the bait of a unique treasure that no god could possibly ignore. Lord Leto leans back, his curiosity piqued, demanding proof that the investment would actually be worth the risk. Lord Leto's eye narrows, reflecting protagonist's image as he coldly declares that he never enters a deal that results in a loss. A grin spreads across his face as he notes that while the offer is tempting, he has no intention of investing his resources this early. Protagonist lunges forward with a surge of dark energy, his intent clear as he prepares to strike. With a cold, ruthless command, protagonist tells his target to go to hell, channeling his power into a devastating blow. A bystander attempts to intervene, rushing toward protagonist with a desperate, uncoordinated strike. Female associate watches the chaos unfold, her eyes wide with mounting terror. Protagonist maintains his composure, demanding to know if anyone present belongs to the medical faculty. Panic ripples through the gymnasium as students scramble to answer, their voices filled with confusion and fear. Identifying the target, someone points directly at female associate, urging her to step up. Terrified, female associate pleads for her life, swearing she hasn't laid a hand on anyone. Desperate to appease him, she claims her heart belongs to the Dragon Nation despite her appearance. She continues her frantic attempt to prove her loyalty, her voice trembling. Surrounding students break into mocking laughter, watching the spectacle with cruel amusement. Female associate begs for mercy, promising to do anything just to survive. Protagonist stares ahead, his expression unreadable as he processes the situation. Gymnasium looms, a silent witness to the tension filling the air. Protagonist coldly dismisses the others, ordering them to leave while keeping female associate behind. He instructs the survivors to head toward the East Mountain Villa area, using his name to secure their safety. Group hesitates, questioning the sanity of venturing out into a school infested with monsters. Protagonist reassures them, claiming he has already cleared the path of threats. He warns them that if they remain timid now, they will surely face a grim end as the world evolves. Students listen in stunned silence, the weight of his words sinking in. One of the students nods, thanking him for the guidance before they prepare to depart. Female associate watches the others leave, a flicker of confusion crossing her face. She wonders why she is being kept behind, her gaze fixed on protagonist. A realization hits her, and she assumes he has ulterior motives for wanting her close. She offers herself to him, hoping to avoid violence through submission. Protagonist cuts her off with a sharp retort, stating he has no interest in her and only needs her for her medical knowledge. Flustered and embarrassed, she apologizes for the misunderstanding, her face turning bright red. He quickly retorts that while she may be compliant, he cannot continue to insult her. She insists on her purity, declaring that she is ready to prove it to him. Protagonist gives a dismissive, cold smile, accepting the situation as they move forward. Urgency fills the air as they realize they must depart immediately. Sudden, frantic movement forces them to scramble as they dash away. They arrive at the imposing structure of the Medical College Research Building, towering under the bright sky. Female associate remarks on how hasty protagonist is, noting that her foot barely managed to catch the clothing in time. Protagonist questions if this is indeed the research building, to which female associate confirms there is a restricted research room on the 3rd floor filled with dangerous viral samples. Female associate warns that the basement passage is no garage, but the home of the incinerator, prompting protagonist to tell her to follow him closely. Deep within the facility, glowing containment units hum with unstable energy. Protagonist surveys the virus research room, marveling at the hidden treasure trove of samples found within the university. System notifications chime rapidly as protagonist harvests various influenza strains, accumulating virus points with every acquisition. A notification flashes. The epidemic influenza virus requirement has been met, prompting protagonist to upgrade it into a formal skill. The system confirms the successful upgrade to epidemic influenza, a skill that infects targets to reduce their attributes and inflict a sneezing status that interrupts actions. Protagonist carefully examines the remaining vials on the table. Protagonist notes the sheer power of the interruption and control effects, acknowledging that this sneezing debuff is no minor issue. Reflecting on his talent skill tree, protagonist realizes he has overlooked the potential of real-world viruses and vows to focus more on them in the future. With a sinister grin, protagonist decides to spend his remaining virus points to further enhance his strength, wary of the challenges posed by the Goblin God. 2 new passive upgrades are unlocked: Flying Eaves and Walking Walls for surface adhesion and Combat Focus for enhanced reaction and muscle control. Protagonist tests his new muscle control, throwing a punch that vibrates with unexpected force. Wall shatters under the impact, leaving female associate stunned by his sudden display of power. Female associate is relieved he didn't use that power on her, while protagonist realizes he can now deliver full-force strikes even in the tightest spaces. Protagonist brushes off her blush, steering the conversation toward investigating the anatomy teacher's area. In the pitch-black basement, female associate expresses her fear, but protagonist tells her to hold her position as he senses something. They locate the entrance to the incinerator room. The heavy doors slowly creak open, revealing the dark chamber within. Protagonist blocks the path, telling female associate to stay back as a glowing red portal ignites before them. The system prompts confirmation to enter the instance, the cooling incinerator, a level 5 to 10 zone. Protagonist steps into the instance, warned that clearing it makes it permanent, but failing to do so will cause it to vanish in 2 days. Looking around the desolate room, protagonist notes he has never heard of this place before. From the shadows, something stirs as protagonist prepares his energy, sensing the arrival of a threat. A grotesque, multi-limbed creature lunges from the darkness with terrifying speed. The creature crawls along the ceiling, forcing protagonist to remain vigilant as he faces the monstrosity. Protagonist delivers a lethal strike, the system confirming the elimination of a resurrected body for 400 experience points. High above, the creature clings to the ceiling, radiating a chilling blue aura as it prepares to strike. The monstrosity unleashes a concentrated vortex of energy, forcing protagonist to brace for the incoming onslaught. Protagonist smirks, realizing the enemies are choosing to attack one by one rather than overwhelming him. The calm demeanor, protagonist mocks the creature's sluggish movement during its charge. Protagonist lunges forward, his eyes burning with lethal intent as he prepares to finish the creature. A powerful, purple-infused strike connects, obliterating the creature's defenses in a spray of light. Protagonist stands amidst the carnage, noting that this dungeon is a goldmine for experience points. He taunts the remaining shadows, daring them to emerge from their hiding spots and face him. With a predatory grin, protagonist welcomes the challenge, eager for the slaughter to continue. System logs pile up, confirming a massive influx of experience points from the fallen foes. Protagonist cuts through the ranks, his strikes raining down with relentless efficiency as the experience notifications flood his vision. A level-up notification chimes. Protagonist reaches level 4, gaining 2 precious attribute points. After clearing the minions, protagonist challenges the hidden entity to finally show itself. Something shifts in the darkness, a sudden impact causing the very ground to tremble. Protagonist's eyes widen, catching a glimpse of a new, unsettling presence emerging. Grotesque, fleshy mass begins to take shape, sending a wave of genuine danger through protagonist. He realizes he must strike before the creature completes its transformation. Protagonist lunges, his dark energy manifesting into claws as he strikes the evolving mass. He identifies the threat, an evolved flu virus, a dangerous pathogen contained within the monster. The creature roars, revealing glowing eyes and a maw filled with razor-sharp teeth. Violent clash ensues as the creature retaliates with a blistering counterattack. Protagonist grits his teeth, his expression hardening as he deflects the blow. The system identifies the monstrosity as a biomaniac, a creature of pure combat evolution. Biomaniac begins to heal, its flesh knitting back together in seconds. The biomaniac charges again, its movements blurring as it closes the distance. Protagonist meets the charge head-on, their powers colliding in a devastating shockwave. Despite the damage, the biomaniac utilizes high-speed regeneration to shrug off the assault. Protagonist smiles, admitting that he hasn't been able to go all out since his rebirth. He vows to use the biomaniac as a catalyst to restore his former strength. Protagonist unleashes a crushing kick against the beast, forcing it back while questioning if its regeneration is truly infinite. With a sinister smirk, protagonist conjures a glowing hourglass, eager to test the limits of his opponent's immortality. Protagonist observes the beast struggling to mend its wounds, wondering exactly when its recovery will finally falter. Protagonist paces through the laboratory, clearly disappointed that the fight is ending prematurely. Protagonist looms over the incapacitated creature, noting that it has completely lost the ability to recover. Protagonist wears a cold, satisfied expression, deciding that the time has come to finish the encounter. Protagonist delivers a final, heavy stomp, crushing the remnants of the beast beneath his boot. A system notification confirms protagonist has leveled up to level 5 and earned 2 attribute points, signaling the dungeon is cleared. System prompts protagonist to upload his clearance process as a paid video guide, offering him full control over privacy and pricing. Protagonist agrees to the upload, commanding the system to mask his identity and appearance. Inside the villa, female associate uses her powers to heal a companion, the room filled with the soft glow of her ability. Women watch in confusion as they witness the mysterious White appearing in the video feed. A notification flashes across the chat group announcing that White has released a high-level nightmare dungeon guide. Curiosity piqued, the women decide to purchase and view the footage immediately. Video feed plays, showcasing snippets of the intense battle protagonist just completed. A viewer remarks in awe that the action is moving so fast they were forced to slow down the playback to comprehend it. Another viewer cheers, completely captivated by the ferocity of the combat displayed on screen. A viewer notes with concern that the monster's recovery speed seems to outclass even that of their known ally, Bai. Female associate watches the feed, relieved to see that Bai has fully recovered from his ordeal. Chat group erupts with messages praising Bai's overwhelming power and questioning the gap between SS and SSS rank talents. The discussion continues as members of the group debate whether Bai has simply broken the rules of the dungeon. Inside the cooled incinerator dungeon, protagonist kneels to absorb the remaining energy from the fallen boss. Protagonist realizes that the blacklight virus operates on a separate evolution system, distinct from standard talent points. A system update confirms the blacklight virus has evolved, boosting protagonist's recovery speed by 300%. The system triggers a passive ability, granting protagonist the A-grade cell regeneration skill. Protagonist examines the new skill, noting that even an A-level passive is a rare and valuable acquisition. With a confident look, protagonist prepares to inspect the final reward dropped by the nightmare boss. Protagonist evaluates the Biodemon Professional Scroll, weighing the massive benefits against the dangerous risks of the unique profession. Protagonist pops the top off a vial of Grade C genetic essence, noting its potential to significantly boost his physical stats. Without hesitation, protagonist consumes the essence, triggering a permanent boost to his strength, physique, and agility. His attention shifts to a peculiar item in his inventory, wondering if it's a piece of gear or something more unique. He inspects the faceless skin, a Grade D defensive item that not only bolsters his stats but offers incredible utility for body modification. Protagonist stares ahead, his mind racing as he processes the implications of his new acquisition. Recalling his recent battles, protagonist pulls up his inventory to review the loot dropped by the monsters he just defeated. He scrolls through a collection of mundane equipment, searching for anything of actual value. While the gear is standard, a skill book catches his eye, standing out among the clutter. The system identifies the skill as Activate Cells, but warns that it's useless if he already possesses cell regeneration. Protagonist shrugs off the invalid skill, realizing he can simply trade it away for something more useful in the chat room. With the boss body part secured, protagonist prepares to leave, knowing his mission is nearly complete. He muses on the goblin-like merchant, suspecting that the trader never expected him to clear the task with such efficiency. The presence of the goblin-like merchant, a figure known as the god of trade, feels like an anomaly in this dungeon. Protagonist hesitates, his hand hovering over the leave option, sensing that something about this situation is fundamentally wrong. He narrows his eyes, deducing that the goblin-like merchant isn't just wandering. He has a specific, hidden agenda. Goblin-like merchant vanishes, leaving behind a cryptic remark about protagonist being an unexpected bonus and a test to be completed. Protagonist ponders why a divine avatar would even bother with this dungeon, wondering if he's missing a much larger picture. Deep in thought, protagonist searches for any detail he might have overlooked. He investigates the incinerator, the only part of the dungeon he hasn't fully explored yet. The walls are slick with grease and grime, confirming it's just a standard disposal unit, nothing out of the ordinary. His gaze fixes on a dark, mysterious pipe leading upward, hidden in the shadows. Driven by an instinct to uncover the truth, he decides to scale the structure for a closer look. He launches himself upward, his boots kicking off the surface as he begins the ascent. The pipe stretches endlessly, far exceeding the height of the room, suggesting it leads somewhere far beyond the dungeon floor. Protagonist looks up, his expression hardening as he reaches the top. He finds himself facing a solid wall, a dead end. He presses his hands against the surface, searching for any hidden mechanism or passage. Frustration mounts as he wonders if he's truly hit a dead end, refusing to believe there's nothing here. Suddenly, a glowing, mask-like seal manifests on the wall, reacting to his presence. Protagonist delivers a powerful strike, shattering the seal with a blinding flash of light. Mysterious mask materializes, radiating an otherworldly aura that hints at divine origins. Protagonist reaches out, his hand trembling slightly as he interacts with the unknown item, realizing its immense potential. Recognizing the artifact as a prize sought by his enemies, protagonist vows to secure it for himself. Back at the Jiangcheng University incinerator, protagonist emerges from the shadows, catching the attention of female associate. Female associate rushes toward protagonist, visibly thrilled and openly professing her admiration for his power. Protagonist remains focused, inquiring about the resources female associate has gathered from her recent battles. Protagonist contemplates his coin balance, calculating the cost required to unlock his hidden storage. System logs flash before his eyes, confirming his current assets but highlighting that he is still short of the 1,000-coin threshold. Protagonist acknowledges the necessity of patience, knowing his secure storage is the only way to keep his items safe from detection. Moving through the medical faculty, protagonist and female associate discuss their next move as night falls. Female associate suggests seeking shelter in a high-rise building, hoping for safety from the nocturnal dangers. Protagonist agrees to her plan, signaling her to lead the way to their temporary refuge. They arrive at a neon-lit couple's hotel, a surprisingly secluded spot near the university. Inside, female associate attempts to entice protagonist with a nurse's outfit, but he remains unimpressed. Female associate apologizes, clearly misreading his intentions for their stay. Protagonist admits he wants the spectacle, but insists on a different look. Female associate obliges, heading off to find another costume that might satisfy him. She returns in a police uniform, but protagonist dismisses her efforts, demanding more spirit. Dissatisfied with her behavior, protagonist commands her to change again. Female associate tries a student look, but protagonist finds it boring. Finally, she appears in a foxgirl ensemble, leaving protagonist silent as he evaluates her. Protagonist approves, calling her his little pet for the night. City skyline glows outside the hotel as the night progresses. With the atmosphere set, protagonist finally decides to activate his storage function. The system confirms the transaction, opening the private, protected storage space. Protagonist waves his hand, successfully securing his items within the void. He prepares to summon a powerful entity, tossing coins to initiate the connection. The summoning ritual begins, calling forth the god of goblin and trade. Protagonist watches the summoning unfold, knowing the risks of trading with such a being. He recalls the old adage, when dealing with this entity, emotions are just another bargaining chip. His sharp gaze locks onto the target, evaluating every microexpression with calculated precision. Goblin-like merchant appears, his voice dripping with playful malice as he questions if protagonist has fulfilled the required task. Protagonist holds out the creature's remains, confirming he has secured the necessary proof to satisfy the contract. The goblin-like merchant inspects the item with a silent, critical stare. Noting the state of the remains, the goblin-like merchant observes that the specimen has been dead for quite some time. He presses for answers, wondering why protagonist waited so long to report the completion of the mission. The goblin-like merchant grows agitated, demanding to know why protagonist hesitated when he clearly desired the scroll. Protagonist remains unfazed, his composure holding firm under the merchant's scrutiny. Protagonist shifts the blame, questioning why the merchant misled him regarding the true nightmare-level difficulty of the dungeon. He adds that without his own hidden trump cards, he certainly would not have survived the ordeal. Goblin-like merchant paces, acknowledging the frustration while preparing to justify his actions. The goblin-like merchant claims he had to test protagonist, as he would never entrust such a treasure to someone incapable of handling the unexpected. With a sharp, predatory grin, the goblin-like merchant demands to know if his logic is understood. Protagonist concedes, though his eyes remain guarded as he asks about the reward and the next objective. The goblin-like merchant admits his fault in withholding information, acknowledging that protagonist has proven his worth. He offers protagonist his choice of reward and reveals that the upcoming mission will be the final round. Protagonist bows slightly, offering a polite but calculated expression of gratitude toward the merchant. The goblin-like merchant invites him to select any item, setting the limit at high-quality B-rank gear. Selection of glowing blue cards manifests, presenting various B-rank options to protagonist. Protagonist reaches out, confidently choosing the scroll from the available options. The goblin-like merchant is impressed by the choice, noting that protagonist clearly possesses both knowledge and a long-term plan. With a sinister glint in his eye, the goblin-like merchant prepares to unveil the final task. Protagonist listens intently, his expression serious as he awaits the details of the ultimate mission. A system alert flashes, demanding the acquisition of 2 SSS-level profession scrolls as the final round objective. Protagonist stares in disbelief at the magnitude of the request, questioning the feasibility of obtaining 2 SSS-level items. Goblin-like merchant maintains his composure, reminding protagonist that even gods were not born with such high-level professions. He admits his own humble beginnings, noting his first profession was merely a level. He emphasizes that his greatest treasure must be placed in the hands of the most capable individual, or he would struggle to part with it. Protagonist sighs, ultimately deciding that he has no other choice but to accept the challenge. A sudden explosion rocks the Dongshan Villa area, leaving protagonist unconscious amidst the chaos. Protagonist explains that he brought her here because this vantage point offers a complete view of all 3 areas of Dongshan. 2 stand side by side, overlooking the urban sprawl, their silhouettes framed against the city lights. He gestures toward the villas below, emphasizing the specific layout of the landscape. Protagonist outlines the high-end residential zones and the lower mountain neighborhoods, demanding that she establish distinct rules for each area. She agrees to the task, though she pauses to ask if he has any other requests for her. Protagonist offers a sharp, knowing smile, suggesting he wants to see how far her senses can be pushed when she truly focuses. Flustered and blushing, she hesitates, trying to process his intense directive. Steadying her breathing, she prepares to activate her skill, focus, with a determined nod. A soft, blissful sigh escapes her as the sensory expansion takes hold. Protagonist leads his group to the Dongshan sewerage outlet, revealing the lair of mutant rats he discovered through architectural plans and recent sightings. He admits he could clear the infestation alone, but he brought them here to train them and ensure they level up together. With a confident grin, Protagonist challenges them, asking if they are ready to become the backbone of their territory. Group kneels in unison, shouting back their readiness to follow his lead. Protagonist tells them to stand, dismissing the title of master and instructing them to call him brother by instead. The men immediately comply, echoing his new name with renewed enthusiasm. Protagonist steps into the water, reaching out to touch the heavy metal grate blocking their path. With a swift, powerful motion, he shatters the metal bars, signaling the start of the mission. As the debris clears, system notifications manifest, confirming that his companions have also received the mission. The group confirms they have received the same objective, their expressions sharpening with focus. A woman explains the mission parameters: eliminate all mutant rats, slay the Rat King, and uncover the source of the mutation. The group moves deeper into the sewer, their torches cutting through the thick, damp darkness. Protagonist suddenly raises a hand, sensing movement and warning the others that the enemy is approaching. A swarm of vicious, mutated rats lunges from the shadows, eyes glowing with feral hunger. Protagonist channels his energy, his hands wreathed in dark, crackling power as he braces for the onslaught. Sound of splashing footsteps intensifies as the group engages the horde. Protagonist unleashes a devastating strike, tearing through the rat swarm with raw, destructive force. Amidst the chaos, a woman shouts a warning to remain vigilant against the survivors. She stoops to inspect a dropped item, calling out that she has recovered a piece of rat skin equipment. She reports that this section of the pipeline is clear, noting they have successfully purged 16 sections so far. Lone, formidable creature appears, prompting Protagonist to step forward and offer to handle this one himself. Protagonist contemplates his next move, noting that absorbing all the viruses in this area will grant him a massive boost in strength. He activates his ability, Virus Absorption, as green energy begins to swirl around him, drawing power from the environment. Suddenly, an unexpected surge of power manifests, causing Protagonist to recoil in shock as the energy takes a physical form. Ethereal energy lashes out, binding Protagonist as he struggles to maintain control amidst the volatile vortex. System chimes with a notification. The special mission Sewer Host is complete, rewarding Protagonist with 2,000 experience and the Wall of Flesh item. Protagonist stands over the defeated remains, catching his breath as the system confirms his success. A new mark appears on his palm, identified by the system as the Seal of Plague, a badge of the core members of the Plague Cult. The system issues an SSS-level mission, Plague Cult, triggered by his acquisition of the seal. Mission details reveal that the cult seeks to welcome their true god, and Protagonist is now tasked with finding a plague bringer. With the image of ethereal antagonist looming in his mind, Protagonist resolves to find the plague bringer and ascend to godhood to challenge her. A massive portal tears open in the sewer, signaling the generation of a new, high-level dungeon. Protagonist reaches out, feeling the raw, intense energy radiating from the swirling rift. The system confirms the generation of the Plague Sewer Dungeon, marked as Hell difficulty, with a countdown of nearly a month. Protagonist notes the extreme difficulty, deciding to return once the dungeon has finished generating. Elsewhere, a normal difficulty sewer dungeon is generated, with female associate observing the process. Female associate remarks that the lower levels are perfect for others to grind and level up. Protagonist arrives, and female associate informs him that she has organized groups to enter the dungeon daily. Protagonist oversees the crowd, instructing them to prioritize their survival above all else. Protagonist selects 3 individuals to join him, warning them that they are responsible for their own safety. Group confirms their orders, addressing him respectfully as Brother Bai. Protagonist directs them to join his private chat group for coordination. Female associate notices the designation number 001 and asks for clarification. Protagonist dismisses her surprise, explaining that the numbers simply represent their evolutionary order. Another woman confronts Protagonist, demanding to know why she wasn't invited to the group. Protagonist looks her in the eye and coldly states that he simply chose not to invite her. He asserts that his group is for those who are loyal and capable, and he has no room for dead weight. He mocks her past cowardice, reminding her of when she was terrified of a simple zombie. She bristles at his judgment, insisting she has grown and is ready to prove herself. Protagonist offers her a chance, telling her to equip herself and enter the dungeon to show him her true growth. The tension rises as the group stands their ground, with one member firmly declaring she needs no assistance and will handle things on her own. Protagonist turns to her, his expression serious as he admits he still doesn't fully understand the talents she and Song-gu possess. She explains her B-level illusion talent, demonstrating how she can create disembodied phantoms, though she dismissively notes it plays only a minor role in combat. Protagonist notes that Song-gu possesses a C-ranked natural aptitude that boosts her experience and proficiency growth by 50%. Song-gu confirms this, her eyes locked on the target as she prepares for the next engagement. She boasts about her recent kill count, pointing out that these rats are significantly more dangerous than the zombies they've faced before. With a smirk, Protagonist teases her, claiming that since she is clearly trying so hard to join his harem, he will make an exception for her. Flustered and blushing, Song-gu vehemently denies any such intention, insisting she only wanted to prove her worth. Protagonist coolly replies that he respects her choice and will refrain from sending an invitation, leaving her stunned. She stammers, asking what he means, while he maintains his teasing facade, suggesting he might just skip the invitation entirely. Song-gu is left speechless, caught between her pride and her desire to be included. The woman beside Protagonist intervenes, urging him to stop teasing Song-gu as she clearly wants to join, noting her earlier frustration about being overlooked. Protagonist leans in, his tone softening as he tells her to accept the invitation for her mother's sake. A system notification confirms that Song-gu has officially accepted the invitation to join the White Emperor Palace. Song-gu rushes off to hunt monsters, while Protagonist watches, amused by her tsundere personality. Woman promises Protagonist that she will make Song-gu call him daddy, earning a playful reaction. She continues, emphasizing that in this new world, a young lady like Song-gu needs someone like him to guide her. Her eyes gleam with a calculated intensity as she declares that having a daddy figure like him means everything to her. Elsewhere, a woman relaxes in a luxury hotel bathtub, feeling grateful for the advice that secured her such comfort in the apocalypse. A system alert broadcasts that Protagonist's team has cleared the Dongshan sewer dungeon and released a video for 10 copper coins. The woman in the tub reacts with shock, realizing Protagonist has cleared yet another dungeon. She stares at the screen, completely captivated by the display of power. She finds the footage incredible, though she laments the cost, fearing she might go bankrupt watching his progress. Others observe the footage, their faces obscured as they analyze the group's performance. The woman in the hotel questions why there are so many women surrounding him. A man watches the screen, noting that while the women are talented, they lack combat prowess. Demands a fast-forward, eager to see Protagonist in actual combat. He explains that the monsters in the depths are high-level, and even with guidance, the team will need Protagonist to step in. His eyes widen as the boss appears on screen, looking incredibly powerful. Elsewhere, a group discusses the Eastern Bastard, confident that he cannot possibly surpass their own S-rank, Tom. The conversation shifts to the recent display of overwhelming power, with one survivor trembling as he recalls, "He killed the boss in one shot. He's much stronger than me." Deep in a luxurious bed, an associate marvels at the feat, noting that the boss was a level 10 threat. She admires the group leader's strength and the effective combat techniques he has shared. She sighs with longing, wishing she were stationed in the same city as the group leader, admitting her envy for the girls who receive his direct instruction. Inside the Song Zicheong Villa study room, protagonist contemplates the aftermath of the sewer's dungeon, deducing that everyone must have scavenged a wealth of low-grade equipment. Protagonist issues a clear directive. The team must collaborate to establish a robust economic framework and equipment trade system for the base immediately. Protagonist presents a mysterious red orb and a glowing scroll, telling his associate that she will soon grasp the immense value of these items. Female associate stares in disbelief at the artifacts on the table, her eyes widening as the reality of their power begins to sink in. She examines the red orb, realizing it creates a barrier far more formidable than any physical wall, provided it is deployed correctly. Protagonist explains that the orb allows for a 10-second return to a marked city, and with these tools, they are poised to become the undisputed rulers of Jiangqing. Female associate demonstrates a new item, explaining that it can alter one's physical appearance to match any desired look. Protagonist watches her, questioning if this utility item is truly less significant than the previous two power-ups. Female associate leans in, reminding him that since he owns everything, the equipment that brings him personal satisfaction is the most important of all. Protagonist admits his lack of knowledge regarding women's fashion, challenging her to surprise him with what she has in store. The flushed expression, she whispers that she has promised to make Song Gu officially call him Daddy. Night falls over the Song Zicheong Villa, the building standing silent under the moonlight. A tail sways rhythmically, signaling a change in the atmosphere within the bedroom. Protagonist carries a woman into the bedroom, the room quiet as the night deepens. The bed is occupied by multiple figures, resting in the soft light of the room. Protagonist joins them, the group settling in for the night. Protagonist glances back with a smirk, his expression unreadable as he prepares for what comes next. A notification flashes. The plague robe is equipped, granting him a set bonus of +5 to all attributes and resistance to weakness debuffs. Protagonist reviews his progress, noting that after 3 attempts at the sewer dungeon, he has only managed to secure one piece of the set. Muses on the drop rate, calculating the effort required to complete the gear set. A sudden message from Dreamy interrupts his thoughts, inquiring about his guidance. Dreamy explains she watched his strategy video and, despite her lack of combat skill, seeks his expert guidance. Protagonist replies that providing guidance requires him to first understand her specific talents, inviting her to share her details. He adds that attribute details would suffice, though he warns that limited information will make it harder for him to provide effective advice. Dreamy immediately agrees, typing out her information to send to him right away. Protagonist reflects that he has no memory of anyone named Dreamy from his previous life, but acknowledges she must be skilled to be part of the group. His eyes widen as he reads the data, caught off guard by the revelation. The system interface flickers to life, revealing an SSS-level talent, Dream Butterfly, currently sitting at 31 points. Protagonist stares at the notification, his mind racing as he realizes this is an infinite growth talent he never encountered in his previous life. Ethereal antagonist, identified as Bai, presses for details, asking protagonist to explain the complex mechanics behind his SSS-level abilities. Protagonist explains that Dream Butterfly allows him to traverse both the real world and the dream realms of others. He notes that while he possesses dream-weaving capabilities, his current power is limited, requiring a dream totem to invite others into his domain. Protagonist muses that as long as her true body remains hidden, this dream state is effectively invincible. She proposes sending a dream totem disguised as a picture, allowing protagonist to guide her through the dream world. Protagonist reaches out to interact with the interface, contemplating the offer. She offers a binding evolver's contract, promising no harm will come to him, leaving protagonist stunned by the proposal. Protagonist questions the cost, noting that such a contract recognized by the universe usually demands at least 10 gold coins. She explains that by manipulating the death rates of monsters within her dream world, she has managed to accumulate the necessary funds. She sweetens the deal by offering a D-level skill book, Spiritual Perception. Protagonist is impressed, acknowledging that this ability is on par with his Virus King power, while she adds a city-building order to the rewards. She admits that despite her strength in dreams, she is physically frail and desperately needs combat training to survive. Protagonist mentally notes her lack of physical growth as a critical weakness, confirming her desperate need for his guidance. Agreeing to the terms, protagonist decides that recruiting such a powerful talent is a strategic necessity. Contract appears before him, explicitly forbidding any harmful actions, and protagonist taps agree without hesitation. Night falls over the villa, setting the stage for their upcoming session. Protagonist lies in the second bedroom, preparing to focus for 3 minutes to establish the connection. Contemplates the potential of the ability, wondering what happens if it evolves further. Suddenly, he finds himself in a different space, standing before the girl who introduced herself as Meng Meng. Meng Meng greets him warmly, confirming the contract is now active. Protagonist introduces himself and immediately questions if this is truly the best environment for combat training. Meng Meng shakes her head, confirming this isn't the right place to begin. With a gesture, she opens a portal, revealing a gym she has prepared nearby. Protagonist looks on in awe as the vast cityscape of the dream world unfolds before him. He steps through the portal, remarking on the sheer scale of her dream domain. Meng Meng clarifies that the dream world is independent, and as a dream traveler, she can only modify what already exists. Satisfied with the explanation, protagonist signals that it is time to begin the training. The two enter the space. She snaps her fingers, declaring, "Let there be light." The gym lights turn on, illuminating the court. He remarks that she looks like a schoolgirl. She retorts by mentioning her past life as a novelist. He instructs her to rely on raw combat skills rather than dream world abilities for this assessment. She warns him to be cautious, noting that her mental strength boosts her attributes in this space. He signals for her to give it her all, and she prepares to attack. The shout, she lunges forward and throws a punch. He avoids the strike, noting that her poor balance leaves her wide open. She looks stunned by the critique. She throws a flurry of wild punches, prompting him to ask if she is using turtle punch techniques. He explains that a punch without recovery is the mark of a weak fighter. He instructs her to focus on a specific target rather than swinging blindly. He warns her to keep her eyes on her opponent instead of focusing solely on her own offense. He stops the training, stating he has gauged her current fighting level. He notes her punch speed was insufficient and she apologizes for her performance. He dismisses the apology, encouraging her to focus on hard work during future training. She beams with motivation and promises to give it her all. 7 days pass at the Dongshan Villa. He reports that the new laws have been explained to the public. He mentions he has cleaned up the area and is ready to leave the management to her. Surprised, she asks if he could stay longer. Checks his status, noting that his plague group is incomplete and he needs to hunt for treasures. She leans in, urging him to return to protect their interests at the palace. He tells her to summon the others to discuss the situation, and she pledges her loyalty. Night falls over the villa as the conversation concludes. They share an intimate moment late at night. The atmosphere remains charged as the night continues. With protagonist finding a moment of surreal, floral-drenched tranquility. Protagonist steps into a room, his expression unreadable as he opens the door to confront the scene inside. A display of indulgence lies before him, a sight that draws a comment on its beauty. Protagonist pauses at the threshold, his silhouette framed by the doorway as he observes the room. Female associate notes that the resident hasn't woken up yet, but protagonist cuts through the pleasantries, admitting he is looking for her specifically. Female associate leads the way, explaining that trouble has erupted at the settlement near the mountain, though protagonist questions why he is being involved in matters already governed by established rules. Protagonist stares ahead, his eyes cold as he insists that everything should be handled strictly according to the rules. Female associate apologizes for the intrusion, noting that while they have the situation under control, the agitators claim to be his former classmates. Without hesitation, protagonist commands her to take him to the scene. At the foot of the mountain, the crowd erupts in excitement as they spot protagonist approaching. Female associate informs protagonist that these individuals are simply refusing to pay the daily fee, demanding security without contributing anything in return. Man in the crowd calls out to protagonist, attempting to use their past connection to bypass the rules. Protagonist remains unmoved, coldly explaining that the rules are far from harsh. A single copper coin is earned by killing just one zombie, and even non-combat jobs are available for those who cannot fight. The agitator persists, claiming that the end times require mutual aid, and as the student council president, he demands that protagonist abolish the rules for the sake of the people. Protagonist dismisses the man with a smirk, stating he has no intention of wasting time on someone like him. Protagonist delivers his final ultimatum: accept the rules or leave immediately, warning that anyone remaining after 3 minutes will be shot without mercy. The atmosphere shifts as an ominous, dark energy begins to envelop the castle, signaling that the time for hesitation has long passed. Chunbai drops to one knee, his grip tightening on his blade as he struggles against the overwhelming pressure of the void. He activates his artifact, commanding it to reverse the flow of time before the situation spirals completely out of control. As he meticulously prepares a chemical solution, a woman nearby questions his intent, but he cuts her off with a cold, singular demand for silence. The surge of power, a swirling purple vortex, tears through the space, manifesting a new dungeon before their eyes. Chunbai reaches out toward the rift, testing the raw energy radiating from the unstable gateway. The system confirms the generation of the Plague Sewer, a hell difficulty dungeon, leaving Chunbai to realize this is even more dangerous than his previous encounters. Calculating the month-long incubation period, Chunbai decides he will return once the dungeon is fully ripe for exploration. A secondary, lower-level dungeon appears in the Dongshan Sewer area, designated for beginners and limited to 3 daily entries. Chunbai notes that this lower-tier dungeon is the perfect training ground for his subordinates to climb the ranks. He praises the efficiency of the operation, ordering everyone to mobilize immediately to capitalize on the limited daily entries. Because the sewer is cramped, Chunbai mandates that they enter in small, controlled squads, always prioritizing survival over greed. He selects 3 individuals to accompany him, warning them that he will only intervene if the situation becomes absolutely dire. The chosen group acknowledges his command without hesitation, ready to follow his lead into the depths. Chunbai triggers virus absorption, instantly cataloging and harvesting data from multiple pathogens to bolster his own stats. Instructs the team to form up and join the private chat group, centralizing their communication for the upcoming raid. A woman catches sight of the number 001 designation, clearly taken aback by the implication of his status. Chunbai dismisses her shock, explaining that the numbering merely reflects the order of evolution, not something worth obsessing over. Another woman steps forward, demanding to know why she was excluded from the exclusive invitation list. Chunbai looks her dead in the eye, offering no apologies as he bluntly admits he simply didn't want her there. He asserts that his inner circle is reserved only for those who are both loyal and capable, maintaining his standards without compromise. He mocks her past cowardice, reminding her that someone who once panicked at the sight of a zombie has no place in his ranks. The woman retorts that he shouldn't underestimate her growth, insisting she is more than capable of handling herself now. Chunbai challenges her to prove it, tossing equipment at her and telling her to step into the dungeon if she wants to show her worth. Deep within the sewer, the woman navigates the damp tunnels, her senses heightened as she encounters the local vermin. Having successfully absorbed the previous energy, Chunbai prepares to move on to his next objective. He rejects the offer of assistance, determined to clear the path and prove her combat efficacy on her own terms. Chunbai presses for details, curious about the specific talents she and her companion possess. She reveals her B-level illusion talent, capable of manifesting phantom constructs, though she admits its offensive utility is limited. Meanwhile, the other woman demonstrates her C-ranked natural aptitude, a passive skill that accelerates her combat proficiency by 50%. The ethereal form of a woman drifts amidst a sea of radiant light, her silhouette glowing with celestial energy. Chunbai lunges forward with blinding speed, his hand clamping onto the throat of a zombie, while Meng watches on in silence. System data flashes, Dream Butterfly active, with 31 dream points accumulated. The system confirms an SSS level status. Chunbai realizes the weight of the situation, noting the SSS level talent and the infinite growth potential, pondering why this power remained hidden in his past life. Meng, visibly startled, asks Chunbai to clarify the specific effects of his complex SSS level talents. Meng explains that her Dream Butterfly ability allows her to traverse the dream world as if it were reality, even invading the dreams of others. She clarifies that while dream weaving allows for manipulation, her current control is limited, requiring a dream totem to invite others into her domain. Chunbai smiles to himself, noting that as long as the true body remains hidden, this ability is effectively invincible. Meng gestures with her hands, proposing that she can send a dream totem through an image for Chunbai to guide her. Chunbai reaches out to interact with the shimmering interface appearing before him. Meng offers to sign an Evolver's contract to guarantee she will not cause him any harm. Chunbai questions the cost, noting that such a contract recognized by the universe should cost at least 10 gold coins. Chunbai grips the zombie's neck firmly, noting that the creature's weight is manageable and it serves as a perfect test subject for his new power. Meng explains that monsters killed in the dream world perish in reality, and by adjusting their explosion rate, she has secured enough gold coins. She offers Chunbai a D-level skill book, Spiritual Perception, as a reward. Chunbai acknowledges the power of the ability, comparing it favorably to his Virus King skill, as a grade F city-building order is also presented. Meng admits that while she is powerful in dreams, she is weak in reality and fears she will die without improving her combat skills. Chunbai observes that her instincts are correct. Her ability provides 0 physical enhancement, which is a massive tactical weakness. Deciding to recruit her, Chunbai agrees to the contract, intending to utilize her powerful talent. System prompt displays the Evolver contract terms, and Chunbai taps agree to finalize the deal. Night falls over the villa, casting a quiet shadow over the estate. Lying in the second bedroom, Chunbai prepares to focus for 3 minutes to allow the dream totem to take effect. Glowing, mystical symbol of the dream totem manifests, pulsating with celestial energy. Chunbai, clearly agitated, lashes out, his face twisted in frustration. Purple energy coils around the hand of the monster, signaling the corruption of its physical form. Lying in bed, Chunbai contemplates the potential evolution of his ability to bridge the gap between dreams and reality. Chunbai and Meng suddenly find themselves standing together in a room, the transition complete. Meng introduces herself to Chunbai, clutching her plush toy and confirming their newly signed contract. Chunbai asks if this is her dream world, noting that the environment is entirely unsuitable for the combat training they need. Meng shakes her head, confirming that this is definitely not the place for their training. Meng reveals she has already secured a nearby gym for their training session. He gazes across the vast expanse of the dream world, stunned by the sheer scale of the city layout reflecting the real world. Stepping into the space, he questions if this is truly the gym, remarking on the massive size of her dream world. Meng explains that as a dream traveler, she only modifies the independent dream world, which mirrors the reality of the world outside. With a newfound understanding, he eagerly agrees to begin their training session immediately. He effortlessly subdues a shadowy entity with a swift, decisive strike. They move forward together, with Meng leading the way into the training area. The dream world manifests a dark, empty basketball court within the gym. Meng snaps her fingers, commanding the darkness to vanish with a burst of light. The gym lights flicker to life, illuminating the entire court in a brilliant glow. He teases her about looking like a schoolgirl, while Meng reminisces about her past life as a novelist. Meng instructs him to fight without using dream abilities, as she intends to test his current combat prowess. She warns him to be careful, noting that her mental strength of 48 significantly boosts her attributes here. He encourages her to go all out, and Meng prepares to launch her assault. The determined shout, Meng lunges forward with a punch. He easily avoids the attack, pointing out how her unbalanced stance leaves her vulnerable, and demands she try again. The creature lets out a guttural, terrifying roar, its form shifting and trembling. Flustered and blushing, Meng gathers her resolve for another attempt. She unleashes a flurry of rapid strikes, which he dismissively identifies as a basic technique from children's martial arts. He critiques her form, emphasizing that maintaining balance is crucial for a powerful punch. He further instructs her to focus on a specific target rather than attacking blindly. He warns her not to become obsessed with her own attacks, urging her to keep her eyes on her opponent. Satisfied with the assessment, he stops the training to offer final guidance. He reveals her inability to handle his speed of 20, causing Meng to apologize for her lackluster performance. He reassures her that there is no need for apologies, encouraging her to focus on hard work instead. With a bright smile, Meng pledges to work harder than ever before. 7 days pass in the Dongshan Villa area as preparations continue. He skillfully manipulates the shadowy mass, displaying his control over the entity. A woman reports that all laws have been posted and personnel are assigned to explain them, confirming the area is on the right track. He notes his progress in cleaning up the Dongshan area and entrusts the management to her. He reminds her that the management of this area falls to her, as he intends to depart early the following morning. She questions his sudden exit, hoping he would linger a while longer, noting that his plague group remains incomplete. The system prompt reveals the plague group at April 5th, granting a +10 bonus to all attributes and applying a random debuff upon contact. He dismisses the need to wait for an E-grade group, eager to hunt for greater treasures and opportunities elsewhere. She urges him to reconsider and return, warning that without his presence, the Emperor Bai's palace risks being overrun by chaos. He coolly asks if his territory is truly facing such a flood. With a smirk, he tells her to summon the others, promising a thorough discussion on how to close the water outlet. She obediently accepts the order, pledging her loyalty to him. The room descends into an intimate haze as he exerts his influence, completely dominating the atmosphere. Surrounded by his subjects, he maintains an air of absolute control, his presence leaving them breathless. This is an advertisement banner. Shadowy tendrils snake across his hand, hungrily absorbing and devouring energy as he strengthens his grasp on his power. Bathed in the glow of roses, he stands revitalized, the absorption process fueling his physical recovery. He steps out of the room, his composure absolute as he prepares to address the unrest brewing outside. A lingering gaze at the scene behind him confirms his complete mastery over the situation. He finds her waiting in the hallway, the tension between them palpable as he approaches. She asks if he is searching for someone else, but he cuts to the chase, confirming he is looking for her. She immediately demands to know what is happening. He informs her of the troublemakers gathering at the mountain's foot. He questions why she is involving him, pointing out that the rules for the Dongshan area were already clearly established. His eyes narrow, his voice cold as he insists that everyone should be following the established order. She apologizes, explaining they have already contained the situation, but adds that the agitators claim to be his former classmates, which is why she sought his intervention. Without a second thought, he commands her to lead the way to them. Arriving at the foot of the mountain, a man in the crowd spots him and shouts his name, alerting the others to his presence. He flexes his hand, satisfied as he confirms that the absorption speed is optimal, providing a much-needed boost to his stamina. She explains that the mob is dissatisfied with the daily fee of 1 copper coin, demanding free security and stability while refusing to contribute their share. Li Chun steps forward, attempting to use their past connection to sway him, but he coldly replies that he knows exactly who Li Chun is. He addresses the crowd, stating that the rules are far from harsh, as even a single zombie kill covers the daily cost. He demands to know why they are inciting trouble. Li Chun argues that in the end times, they must prioritize mutual aid over money. He urges him, as the student council president, to cancel the rules for the sake of everyone's appreciation. He dismisses the plea with a sneer, declaring he has no intention of wasting his time on someone like Li Chun. He issues a final, lethal ultimatum: accept the rules or get out. Those who remain after 3 minutes will be executed without mercy. She stares at him in absolute shock, struggling to process the ruthlessness of his declaration. He turns back to her, nonchalantly asking what the problem is, as if the threat of death he just issued was a trivial matter. She catches her breath, the weight of his power and cold resolve pressing down on her. She looks him in the eye, acknowledging that he saved her and promising to keep his secrets safe in return. Chun Bai jolts awake, his heart hammering against his ribs. He is back in his old college dorm, confused and reeling from the memory of being killed. He steadies himself, introducing himself to the woman cowering before him. He is Chun Bai, and she is Su Xian. A guttural, predatory growl echoes through the corridor, snapping Chun Bai to attention. He senses something is horribly wrong. Chun Bai realizes the military has already locked down the hospital to purge the infected. They have to move, and they have to move now. Ignoring Su Xian's hesitation, Chun Bai drags her toward the rooftop, desperate to escape the building before the military closes in. Chun Bai refuses to be trapped or questioned by authorities. His priority is survival, not bureaucracy. Suddenly, a monstrous, pale creature lunges from the shadows, its eyes burning with a lethal hunger. With lightning-fast reflexes, Chun Bai narrowly avoids a fatal strike, the air whistling as the beast's claws tear through the space he just occupied. Su Xian screams as the mutant prepares to tear them apart, but Chun Bai is already bracing for a counterattack. Su Xian stares in absolute terror, realizing the nightmare they are facing is far worse than she imagined. The mutant coils its muscles, ready to pounce again, its form twitching with unnatural speed. Chun Bai clutches the mysterious hourglass, his mind racing. The memories of his past trials feel too vivid to be a mere dream. The mutant charges them in the narrow hallway, forcing Chun Bai to defend Su Xian with everything he has. Fresh wound opens on Chun Bai's arm, blood dripping onto the floor, but the pain only sharpens his focus. A twisted grin spreads across Chun Bai's face. He isn't afraid, he is fascinated by the mutant's existence. He wonders what kind of power he could unlock if he absorbs this creature's essence through the blacklight virus. Mutant leaps high, preparing to crush Chun Bai under its immense weight. Chunbai plants his feet firmly, the floor cracking under the sudden pressure of his stance. With a powerful strike, Chunbai counters the mutant, sending it crashing into the wall with a deafening impact. The mutant reels from the blow, its eyes glowing with a frenzied, chaotic light. Chunbai launches a devastating follow-up kick, aiming to shatter the creature's defenses. He descends upon the beast, his movements precise and lethal, leaving the mutant no room to breathe. Chunbai recalls how he obtained the hourglass 20 years ago. It is indestructible, a constant companion that has now begun to change. The mutant swings its massive arm, but Chunbai effortlessly leaps over the arc of the attack. Chunbai channels his energy, his hands glowing with a dark, violet aura as he prepares to seize the creature. The mutant snarls, its teeth bared, but it is already caught in Chunbai's trap. Chunbai pins the creature down, noting that its physical strength is surprisingly comparable to his own. With a surge of power, Chunbai unleashes tendrils of dark energy, binding the mutant tightly. He slams his fist into the mutant's chest, the impact sending shockwaves through the corridor. The creature is embedded deep into the wall, but it still clings to life. Chunbai sighs, acknowledging its tenacity. The time hourglass is bound successfully. A massive cooldown of over 72 years is set, but the ability to reset the timeline is now within his grasp. Chunbai realizes that his rebirth was directly linked to the artifact's power. New skills emerge, status save and status red. He can now mark his physical and mental state, effectively creating save points with a 1-hour cooldown. Chunbai grins, realizing the sheer potential of this life-saving ability. A 1-hour cooldown is a game-changer. Memories flood back as he stares at the hourglass pendant resting against his chest. His subordinates approach, sensing his call and asking for their next orders. Chunbai gives a direct command: verify the safety of their villa immediately. He warns them of the night's dangers, ordering a full alert and a sweep of the perimeter at first light. They acknowledge the order, their expressions serious as they prepare to execute the mission. The next day breaks over the city, revealing a landscape still gripped by chaos and fire. Song Zichong Villa, the situation is dire as they deal with the encroaching threats. Chunbai activates his amethyst eyes, scanning the immediate vicinity for hidden dangers. He draws the insight crystal, its purple glow pulsing with power as it prepares to analyze the target. The crystal of insight activates, allowing him to perceive the hidden attributes of his foe. The system displays the stats: a normal zombie with low agility and strength but highly infectious. This weakness is clearly marked. Chunbai recalls the urban legends from his past life, specifically the infamous sealed hospital. Scream echoes as a creature lunges, its face contorted in a feral rage. Chunbai strikes with lethal precision, his blade cutting through the air in a blur of motion. He identifies an assassin, a stealthy threat with increased agility and devastating first-hit speed. The swift, brutal strike, Chunbai eliminates the threat, blood splattering the immediate area. The battle intensifies as more shadows emerge, but Chunbai remains relentless in his onslaught. Back at the lobby, a subordinate rushes in carrying a wounded survivor, desperate for medical aid. They administer the zombie serum while activating high-speed recovery B, accelerating the healing process for the injured. Chunbai checks in, noting that everything is proceeding according to his plans. The subordinate confirms that the territory is secure and no accidents have occurred under his command. Chunbai dismisses them, claiming he has more critical matters to attend to elsewhere. Arriving at the sealed hospital, he grins, knowing he has arrived at the perfect moment. Sudden shockwave erupts, catching everyone off guard as the environment shifts. He sprints through the Jiangcheng Mountain Road, his speed leaving trails of dust behind him. The early stages of the Doomsday Trial are unforgiving, with no access to modern weapons, but Chunbai moves with the confidence of one who knows the path ahead. The air thickens with a toxic, violet mist as Chunbai stares down the threat, his gaze piercing through the evolved flu virus. A monstrous, clawed hand erupts through the crumbling concrete wall with terrifying force. The biomaniac lunges forward, its rows of jagged teeth bared in a primal, bloodthirsty roar. Crimson blade of energy carves through the air, narrowly missing its mark as the creature unleashes a devastating strike. Chunbai scoffs at the close call, his expression remaining cold and composed amidst the swirling toxins. The system identifies the hulking red beast, the biomaniac, a lethal opponent pulsing with raw, corrupted energy. With a sickening sound, the biomaniac's mangled flesh begins to knit together, triggering its heal ability. Chunbai watches closely, his eyes tracking the creature's every movement as it prepares to charge again. Chunbai closes the distance in a blur, his mutated limbs glowing with dark power as he launches a counterassault. The impact is absolute, but the biomaniac's high-speed regeneration immediately begins to reverse the damage. Chunbai lands, his eyes alight with excitement, lamenting that he hasn't been able to fight at full capacity since his rebirth. He grins, viewing the creature not as a threat but as a resource to reclaim his lost strength. A bystander screams in terror as a zombie tears through the environment, desperate to survive the nightmare. Chunbai strikes again, his kick landing with crushing force while he questions the limits of the monster's regeneration. A mystical hourglass appears behind Chunbai, symbolizing his intent to test the creature's immortality. The biomaniac falters, its healing slowing down significantly under the relentless pressure of Chunbai's assault. Chunbai paces through the lab, disappointed that the entertainment is ending so soon. The creature lies defeated and broken, completely unable to recover from its wounds. With a final, cold look, Chunbai decides it is time to put the biomaniac down for good. His boot comes down with finality, crushing the last of the monster's vitality. The system confirms the kill, biomaniac defeated, rewarding Chunbai with 10,000 experience points. Chunbai levels up to 5, gaining 2 precious attribute points as the dungeon clear prompt appears. The system offers an option to monetize his victory by uploading the footage as a paid guide. Woman reacts in shock, her arm grabbed as the tension in the room spikes. Chunbai decides to proceed, opting to hide his identity to keep his growing power a secret. Elsewhere, in the Dongshan Villa area, a healer tends to a patient unaware of the footage being uploaded. Confusion ripples through the room as they notice the mysterious uploader, White, has surfaced. The chat group erupts with the announcement, White has cleared the nightmare-level mystery dungeon. Driven by curiosity, they scramble to watch the footage and uncover the secrets of this new powerhouse. Screens across the region light up as people everywhere tune in to witness the high-level combat. The intensity of the battle is so overwhelming that she has to slow down the footage just to track the movements. The sheer ferocity of the combat leaves the viewers in absolute awe. Observers are stunned, noting that the monster's recovery rate is even more insane than Bai's, questioning if the fight is even fair. Even with the monster's relentless regeneration, Bai manages to make a full recovery, shocking the audience. Deep beneath the surface, Bai plunges into the dark, murky depths. Panic erupts as the survivors scramble, desperate to escape their inevitable demise. The chat room is flooded with disbelief as top-tier players debate the massive gap between SS rank and SSS rank talents. They struggle to comprehend how Bai is clearing level 10 bosses with such ease, suspecting he has shattered the very rules of the dungeon. Deep within the cooled incinerator dungeon, Bai kneels to claim his prize. Bai realizes the blacklight virus operates on a unique evolution system distinct from standard talent points. A system prompt flashes. The blacklight virus has evolved, boosting his recovery speed by a staggering 300%. The evolution triggers a new passive ability, Cell Regeneration, at grade A. This passive allows Bai to burn stamina to instantly regenerate even severed limbs, a game-changing survival tool. With his health secured, Bai turns his attention to the loot dropped by the nightmare-level boss. The spoils of war materialize before him, glowing with potential. He uncovers the Biodemon Professional Scroll, an A-level unique item that grants immense strength at the risk of mutation. Somewhere else, a desperate survivor makes a frantic dash for the 4th floor. Bai finds a grade C genetic essence, a rare item that permanently boosts his physical attributes. Without hesitation, he consumes the essence, gaining a permanent increase to his strength, physique, and agility. He picks up a strange, pliable item, curious about its true nature. It's the Faceless Skin, a grade D defense item that provides stat boosts and the ability to shapeshift. He ponders the utility of such a bizarre piece of equipment. He continues to sort through the mountain of loot he gathered from the fallen boss. His inventory is packed with ordinary gear, but one item catches his eye. Skill Book, Activate Cells. A nice find, even if it's just a D rank active. The system deems it invalid since he already possesses a superior regeneration skill, but Bai knows it holds value for trading. With the boss's remains in hand, he prepares to finalize his mission. Sudden impact shatters the surroundings as the tension reaches its peak. He smirks, knowing his speed in completing the task has completely caught his benefactor off guard. Goblins and the god of trade, the pieces of this strange new world, are finally coming together. Tension is palpable as he stands there, his expression unreadable, weighing the gravity of the situation. He confronts the entity, demanding to know why the true difficulty of the dungeon was kept hidden from him, calling it a nightmare-level challenge. His gaze remains sharp as he admits that only his unconventional tricks kept him from meeting his end inside that hellish place. Leto steps forward, his cane clicking against the floor, offering a calm explanation for the deception. Leto makes it clear that he would never entrust such a precious treasure to someone incapable of surviving the unexpected. With a sinister glint in his eyes, Leto presses for confirmation, asking if his reasoning is understood. Accepting the reality of the situation, he drops the confrontation and shifts his focus to the next objective and its reward. Leto acknowledges his own mistake in withholding information, noting that the protagonist has more than proven his worth. Leto snaps his fingers, offering the protagonist the right to choose his own reward for the upcoming final mission. He bows slightly, expressing his gratitude for the generosity and understanding shown by Leto. Leto gestures, causing B-rank items to manifest in the air, inviting the protagonist to select his prize. Floating before them are various high-quality B-rank offerings, shimmering with magical energy. He reaches out, his hand closing around the chosen scroll, signaling his decision. He touches the forehead of the fallen victim, activating the virus absorption skill to buy precious time. Leto inspects the chosen reward, impressed by the protagonist's clear goals and vast knowledge. With a predatory grin, Leto prepares to reveal the final task. He stares at the notification, his expression one of pure shock at the magnitude of the request. A system prompt appears, an SSS-level task issued by Leto, requiring the acquisition of 2 SSS-level profession scrolls. He stammers, overwhelmed by the difficulty of the task, while the scrolls loom large in the air. Leto reminds him that even gods are not born with such immense power, emphasizing the rarity of the goal. Leto admits his own journey started with an A-level profession, but he hints at something greater. His eyes glowing with intensity, Leto insists that his greatest treasure must go to the most worthy recipient. Resigned to the challenge, he finally agrees to accept the mission. In the Dongshan Villa area, a massive, terrifying creature is unleashed with a deafening boom. He drifts through the void, consumed by the sensation of endless darkness. He notes that the military will soon seal the area, necessitating someone familiar with the hospital to act as a guide. System scan reveals the mutant giant rat, a level 5 threat with overwhelming physical stats. Observers watch in horror, noting that this specimen is far larger than previous encounters and has already wiped out 2 teams. They decide to avoid direct engagement for now, opting to keep the target under constant surveillance.